Hello. What's good, YouTube? It's your main man, AB the Hero, back again with another video. Um, it's Saturday, you know what I'm saying? So in the essence of good old Saturday morning cartoons, we live. And we had to bring out the Koski, you know what I'm saying? I had to bring y'all to Hidden Leaf Village with your boy. Uh, I wanted to do this video for just to talk about last night's game, Hornets versus the Brooklyn Nets, and also because I live here in Indianapolis, and the Pacers play the Hornets tonight, and I'm contemplating whether or not I should go to the game. Obviously, because I know a lot of y'all. First off, once LaMelo got hurt, people was hitting me like, "Bro, we ain't even watching the Pacers, the Hornets play no more." So I want to gauge, and that's why I'm talking about this at the beginning of this. I want to gauge whether or not y'all want me to go to the game, because I thought it would be dope to even be there and watch the game live, and then also maybe do the halftime show from the game. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna check. Also, I don't know if Melo is there, because I think I seen him on live today, and he looked like he was just in his car. He was in one of them the Rolls Royces, or is that with the stars on the ceiling or whatnot. So that's what I'll say. So if he's on the bench, then I probably will pull up, because then I'll be like, "Yo, Melo, what's good? It's your man AB." You feel me? And see if we can get some of that for y'all. But I definitely wanted to start by, you know what I'm saying, talking about last night's game. And I think last night's game was a tough one, because it was a TNT game, national broadcast. Like, I was trying to find it on NBA TV or League Pass, and I couldn't. And I was like, "What's going on, man? What a game at?" And I realized because it's on TNT. And even like reading the recap from I think the NBA or whatever, or ESPN, they kind of talked about the game being a bit lackluster because a lot of the star power wasn't there, right? I believe if we look at the box score, you got let's see, Kyrie ended up playing, but obviously Durant wasn't there. Obviously James Harden didn't play last night, and obviously Melo didn't play. So for a lot of folks, they were saying like, "Yo, for a game that probably got on TNT because you were about to see LaMelo versus these superstars for the first time," or not the first time, but shoot, honestly, as a collective for the first time, and that didn't happen. And then the way the first quarter, IVD Press, what's up, my guy? And then the way the first quarter went down, where it was probably one of the worst first quarters in this season for the Charlotte Hornets, it just made the game even more unwatchable for a lot of people. And what I've realized too, and I think that this comes across some of when folks watch my videos, right? Because I be hyping my dog LaMelo up, because that's my dog, and I want to see him be great. That I think that a lot of folks think that because I hype LaMelo, that I'm like downplaying what's happening with the other guys, right? And what I think that, and I understand that, right? Because when I listen to the coach James Borrego talk, and I hear him downplay LaMelo and hype up all the other guys, I feel the same way. So I don't want it to seem like I agree. Terry Rozier is a dog. You're like, he plays great basketball. Some of these other guys are amazing basketball players. So shout out to all of them. Let me pull up share my screen here for a second. You don't want to age, she's a cop car. All right, so let's see. All right, so that's a shout out for that, right? Now let me see, man. Also, if let me know where y'all tuning in from, man. Drop that in the comments, and then here in a second, I'll shout out everybody and where all y'all from, all of that jazz. So I appreciate a lot of the guys who play for the Hornets. You know what I'm saying? The Miles Bridgeses, the Terry Roziers. I appreciate the Gordon Haywards. I've given a lot of love to a lot of those guys. So shout out to them, right, for being dope, you know. But let's see. When we look at a game like last night, though, and I think that last night was the worst case scenario. So when LaMelo first went down, And there were folks who were like, all right, we're not watching the Hornets no more because we already know what's coming next. I think that last night is what folks were afraid of. Let me see. So I think that last night is what people were afraid of, is because you end up, and appreciate y'all for hitting the like button as y'all come in. I appreciate y'all. We got 30 people watching. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hit the like button. We get that to 30. I appreciate that. Let other folks know that we're doing this live. And like I said, I'm probably going to end up going to the game tonight. So we'll do another live there. So if you can, make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you got your notifications on, because once we go live at halftime at the arena, I want y'all to be able to tune in and tap in, and I'll give y'all my live. I just watched these dudes hoop for real. This is what I think opinion. So let's look at last night's game though. And last night's game, let me see if I can, let's go to the shit on over there. We can go to the game charts here. And you see at some point there's a 32-point lead from the Brooklyn Nets, right? So what I think that when I say last night was the greatest fear from folks who were like, yo, I don't even want to watch these dudes no more down at the Melo ain't playing, is this right here, right? And so when I be critical at times, now I live in Indiana. They playing here in Indiana tonight versus the Pacers. So when I'm critical at times, and I'm talking about the pace and how things adapt and they change, it's because I think that when you have a team that, and I feel comfortable saying this because Mitch Kupchak has said this, and the way he made it sound is like he got it straight from Jordan as well, is that if you're being objective, then what you realize is that this Hornets team as constructed is not going to be the team that you see next year. Like they realize, like, yo, maybe LaMelo's Hornets equals Sean doesn't even watch the game. So, and this is what I'm saying. Sean Matthews says, without the Hornets, they don't watch. So, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people have said that, and the reason why they have said it is because the excitement that was in these games is no longer there, right? And I think that for a lot of folks, the excitement just feels like the entertainment value is down. However, what I always say is that the pace in which they play, the excitement in which they play also lends to them getting easy buckets on offense. And Malik is tough as well. Malik is dope. And so it leads to them getting easy buckets on offense. And because of that, it makes them a better team. So I think that it's tough because these guys who they have who are dope, the Gordon Haywards, the Terry Roziers, the Devontae Grahams, the Miles Bridges, the PJ Washington, all of these dudes who are playing at an elevated this game this season compared to where they were last year, they are dope. However, when you take them versus a solid basketball team, a really good team, and you say, all right, now you go one-on-one. We're going to let you go one-on-one versus Bismack, you and LaMarcus Aldridge. See what happens. Is LaMarcus Aldridge. What's up, Rap God Reloaded? When you look at them go and you say, Gordon Hayward, all right, now you go one-on-one. And we talking versus Blake Griffin versus these. Like it looks different. And I think that's the thing that I'm always critical of. And I believe you watched last night's game and you look at the first quarter where the Hornets scored 11 points. When LaMelo was playing, we were judging whether or not they had a good quarter based on if they got to 30 points. When they hit 30 points and the pace was playing fast, we were like, okay, y'all were winning. Right now, we looking at like, yo, can we get to 15, 16, 20 points in the first quarter, right? And then you start looking at the offense being ran through Bismack and Zeller at times, and we're going to drive and dish it and kick it to here and there. Like, hey, yo, let's hit the likes, man. I appreciate that. Diorian Sierra says 60 watching, 60 likes. Let's go, man. I appreciate that. So I think that I appreciate what the Hornets are doing night in and night out. And I think that if you listen to those guys even talk, they realize that the pace in which they're going to be playing without LaMelo is going to be much slower. And I think that since LaMelo has been gone, And the times where we've seen them be the most dominant is when they have decided that they're going to play with pace, when they're going to play with some flash, when we see the entertainment value from this squad be taken to the next level. Those are the times where we've seen them be the best. And I think that when I look at through my comment section and I see person after person say, yo, ain't even no point in me watching no more because LaMelo ain't there. I think that how you bring those people back is by playing with pace, playing at a level. This right here says, yo, this graph that we're looking at here from last night's game saying, yo, it wasn't even close. And this is obviously probably the best team in the NBA who you're playing against. And there's a lot of the East right now is top heavy, right? Where there's 6 games. I was listening to somebody talk about this and they were saying that, but the difference between number 3 and number 4, where the Hornets is the same difference in wins and losses as number 4 from number 13 is in the East. Like, that's how close it is at the moment. That's how close it is at the moment in the Eastern Conference. From being in the playoffs and being out of the playoffs is the same difference as being you could be the 13th seed or you could be the 4th seed if you go on a 4-game win streak right now in the East. That's how close it is. So it is important. All of these games are important. Tonight's game versus the Pacers is important. And I appreciate that. Yo, everyone, please click that like button and say what up in the chat, though. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Girly Boy TV, man, he was on here the last live stream. And now I'm about to send out the link here. So if y'all want to jump on and chat, man, I definitely want to open up that for y'all. My man, for Hard Vision, IVD Press. I'm gonna send you the link too, man. Bring you in. So if you want to jump in and you know, I want to have as many people in here as possible. So that's kind of what I picked up from last night's game. I think that last night's game, it don't really need a full breakdown. If you watched it, you see like, yo, this is the night in and night out. The Brooklyn Nets is just a far better team. I think that this is something that I said early on in the season as well, right? And there you go, Justin Pritchard checking in from Statesboro. Appreciate that. Let me know where y'all tuning in from, man. Let me know where y'all tuning in from for sure. And I'll give y'all some shout outs and make sure y'all hitting that like button as y'all come in. I think this is something that I said, right? Because I feel like obviously I'm a LaMelo fan. I appreciate LaMelo. I'll admit to you that I probably watched a total of 0 games last year from the Charlotte Hornets. I'll own that for facts, right? But I will say that this year I'm invested. I done watched almost every game. If not every game, I done watched all but maybe 1 or 2 or 3 games this entire season. And the 1 or 2 or 3 games that I've missed came before LaMelo got injured. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 games after, and then maybe 2 sprinkled out through the season. So I've watched. And one of the things that I have noticed is from following a team as close as I've followed these Hornets team is that there's a difference between a really, really good basketball team and a terrible one. Seattle in the house, Canyon S in the house, Seattle. I appreciate that, man. Tuning in from everywhere. We got a couple folks from Seattle. Phoenix in the building. London in the building, man. Shout out to all y'all tuning in from everywhere. Yeah, man. We were repping the Akoski today, man, because I feel like I had to throw in the Akoski fit, man, because I feel very anti-hero-ish, you know what I'm saying, today. And so I had to, you know what I mean, embody that a little bit. So I think what I really want to get across to y'all, man, is that I really appreciate this team. And I think that watching them night in and night out, you really get to see really good basketball versus like mediocre teams. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference when you watch this Hornets team, who I believe is a playoff team, going against the Brooklyn Nets versus going against the Houston Rockets. You know what I'm saying? You can see that. You can see it in the competition level. You can see how easy it is how easy they handle certain folks and all of that jazz. So Fort Worth in the building. Okay, Miami in the building. That's what's up, man. Bro, come on, guys. Yeah. Like the video, man. I appreciate all the support for that as well. So let me see. Did I drop the the link, my man IVD Press. If you in, I sent you the link over there on the Instagram. Here in a second, I'm about to drop the link to invite whoever wants to be in here in the chat. But let's go back to the box score because I think this is telling. This is telling here, and I'll make it a bit bigger for the culture. Is when we look at this is not a terrible night. You see Gordon Hayward with 11 shots, and this is something that when we talk about pace, where it matters is this. Let me get the NBA one because the NBA one give you the percentages, which I love. I don't have to calculate that for you. All right, here we go. When we talk about pace, this is what I'm saying. On a night where Gordon Hayward shoots 45% from the field, on a night where Cody Zeller shoots 66% from the field, Jalen McDaniels played limited minutes, shoots 50%. Brad Wanamaker got in the game and he shoots 60%. You have Terry Rozier at 36%, whatever. But what matters here and why the pace plays. What's up, man? Greetings from NYC. I appreciate that. DJfunny.com. That's what's up. Where it matters is you have 11 shots. So you got Gordon Hayward, who from the field is having a decent night at 45%, but he only gets up 11 shots. And so in a game where they're playing at a much higher pace, you begin to have more offensive possessions. You get more shot attempts. And then when you are shooting and having a decent night, that's how you stay into these ball games. You watched last night's game, man. It wasn't even close. And here go the link for you all. If you want to join and you watched last night's game and you got something that you know what I mean, you want to tap in and say about it, definitely join the chat right here. And like I said, man, I am anticipating. Actually, I keep saying this, and I ain't bought no tickets yet, but I am probably going to go to the game tonight as they play the Pacers. And as we do that, you know what I'm saying? And this is being streamed on Twitch. It's being streamed on Facebook. And it's also being streamed here on YouTube. So definitely, if you have all of those different platforms, feel free to like AB the Hero over there on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook. Follow over there on Twitch, and also follow and subscribe here on YouTube as we invite our first guest into the stream here. Let me remove this here. My man, Enjoy. What's up?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just after watching last night, man, after watching the last few days, I'm about to say some stuff that sounds bad, but I think Melo's got to move.
Oh, like different team?
Different. I think watching how Gordon wants to play on this team, watching how the coach wants to run it, and how everyone wants to do their own thing. I think he needs to move to another team, maybe get one of his brothers with him so they can move fast, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone there is going so slow. You have Cody, you have Biz, you have Gordon. They all want to take their time, you know?
I could hear you say that. I think that from listening to, I did a video about this recently, and it's the Mitch Kupchak, right? He did a little press conference, media availability after the trade deadline. And from what I gather from the organizational standpoint, is the team as we see it today will not be the team that you see next year. So I think, and so I don't even think that he has to move, but I think it's games like last night show you that people are moving. So to the staunch, I've been a fan of the Hornets for a long time, and to those, you know what I mean? Like some of those folks, I feel like look at some of these wins that have happened since LaMelo went out, and they say, well, this means that our team as constructed is good enough. You add LaMelo to it, and I think that wins like last night show you the gap between and in the standings being number 4 seed and being number 3 seed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And I think
especially
that
in the
means
East.
Yes. It's a huge gap.
It's just scary. And what's going to happen is whenever the Heat start turning up, you're really going to see a bigger gap form.
Yeah. And I'm going to pull up the standings here real quick and get them on the screen. But yeah.
I think it's Knicks right below us right now.
No, right now it's the Heat. The Heat are number 5.
Oh, it is the Heat.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it is.
So we got the Heat here at number 5. And let me make that bigger. So yeah, Miami Heat at number 5. And we see what they just did. They went out and got Oladipo, and you see that they're still
Oh
trying
yeah,
to shake up their roster. And because they were so close last year that they feel like,
Miami's in 3 years from now they're going to have a ring. Like
yeah, that's how they feel.
I can say that right now. In 3 years from now, they better have a ring.
Here's what I'll say to you: if every team as constructed stayed the way that they're constructed right now, I would give you that. However, what I think is about to happen with these Hornets, I don't think I feel like that Miami thing is about to get canceled out.
My thing is, right now in the draft, do you see any big man that you think could run quick that they might be able to snag with possibly a second round pick?
I think that based on Coach James Borrego and his the way that he views young talent, and even like the way that they brought in LaMelo and didn't expect him to be great.
Yeah,
I don't think that this team is building around young players, right? You got Jalen McDaniel, you got Vernon Carey, and you can see them barely sniff minutes. I think that if anything, a young big is going to be one of those guys who they already have on the roster. I don't see them wasting time with getting a big in the draft. You're about to lose Zeller in free agency. You're about to lose Bismack Biyombo. And I think that from a free agent standpoint or maybe a trade is where they're going to get the big at. And I think that maybe another wing player who is what you'll see happen from the draft. I can't imagine them wasting another draft on the big because they already got two. And I got my man Edgar who just joined as well.
Peace, dog. Love your work.
Oh yeah, man. You welcome. You ain't got to rush out, man, for sure. But I'm gonna see what Edgar got to say if he got something to tune in or speak up on this point. Edgar, you got your mic muted. I don't know. There you go.
I think the NBA commissioner is dumb because he let when Kobe Bryant was still in the Lakers, Chris Paul was going to join, and the NBA commission did not allow it, but he allowed the Brooklyn Nets have an all-star team.
Yeah. Now, you know what, man? That's a fact, and I think that we forget about that and how that changed the NBA, right? Because if they make that move, no telling what type of run the Lakers go on, right? It changes Chris Paul's career. Chris Paul, who has never won a championship up to this point, he may get a champion. You know what I mean? His Hall of Fame numbers and status looks different if he joins the Lakers at that time, right? However, what I will say is I think what is different between now and then is there was a lot of backlash, a lot of fans, a lot of media, a lot of everybody really criticized, just like you said, the commission at that point. So I think a lot of the stuff that we see happening now and them just letting it be a free-for-all comes because they don't want to step into it like they did back then. And what was they were trying to save like the parity that in the league. And now we look at the league and everybody says there's no parity and any team has an opportunity to win it all. So, I mean, and there's only a few teams year in and out who have a chance to win it all. It's kind of almost a foregone conclusion, which makes sense. But then you look at the Miami Heat last year in the finals and you realize that don't make sense.
I kind of look at it like let these superstars all build their super team. Because if things, worst case scenario, they blow up and that's just entertaining, you know, like, because then you see this like underdog no one ever knew was going to come up and they just rise up while everyone's staring at this star that's burning over here as they just burn down to the ground, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I think that's, to me, that's the beauty of, right? When you think about March Madness, which is happening right now, that's why people even care about that. It's because you have the Gonzagas and you have the Michigans and these perennial powerhouses, the Dukes and all of these. But it's so interesting when Butler goes to the finals 2 years in a row. And it's a little small school out of nowhere. When Florida Gulf Coast goes on runs and that's what makes it interesting because at some point it feels like anybody has a chance to win. And it's because folks show up and they don't feel like, we're going to lose today because we're playing XYZ team. So it's like I seen somebody say in the comments, as far as the game last night, and they say, yo, the Hornets knew that they were playing the Brooklyn Nets, and they knew that they were going to lose, and that's what it looked like. In the tournament, you don't ever get that. You get every night teams show up and they give you their best shot, no matter what seed they are, right? If you just better on that night, you know what I'm saying?
That's because they know that tomorrow they're not going to be playing. Like if they don't show up tonight, they're not playing again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I think, like, modern NBA kind of, some of these stars and everything, they know, like, I don't got to show up every night. And I think that can kind of kill the game in some points. But at the same point, you don't want these people like Bron, Kawhi, all them getting hurt. So it's like, it's hard to balance, you know?
Mm-hmm. Man, it's so tough because when I listen to people talk about the NBA right now, right, part of the critique that they have on this generation of the NBA is that it's much softer. The contact, you can't hand check. You know what I mean? You show clips of the bad boy Detroit Pistons, and in that time, obviously players got injured just like they do now, but you also were expected to play every game in what people would consider to be a much more physical league. So it's like now you have guys who I feel like some of the negative press that sitting out and resting has slowed it down. Even when you look at the Clippers last year, who rested a ton, but then once they got to the playoffs, they realized that they didn't actually have any chemistry. Like, so I feel like a lot of folks are getting away from that, even in this season, which is a much more condensed season. But like, you when you take it into consideration, the fan and like the experience of watching the game, and you just got to understand that injuries happen, man. It's freak. You look at LaMelo with the fractured wrist, and it's on some like weird, I fell and I tweaked my, you know what I mean? So you gotta like just let it slide, and you gotta roll the chips out regardless of injury or not, and just play your best basketball night in and night out.
That's like what's crazy is my great uncle, he was a 7-footer and he played back in the cage ball days. And it's hilarious listening to people talk about how, like, oh, the game's changed and everything. You're talking about a day back when they had a metal chain hanging from the ceiling of the gym, and they would just throw each other into it. Like, I think at the beginning of when he played, dribbling wasn't even a thing. Like, you're talking, this is much more interesting basketball, much better basketball. You're watching the game flow. These people have, like, you're watching like Curry, even that missed three and stuff. I can sit there and watch that little dribble package that he had, like, and still miss the shot and still go, man, that would have been sick if it went in, you know? Like,
yeah. I will say this, bro. I'm not hip on no chain ball basketball. You know what I'm saying? So you go back be up something else.
You go back in the day, it was nasty, and it's like all the game's done is just gone from basically like gladiator combat with a basketball to now you have people that are still just as big jumping 40 inches in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game's gonna evolve. It's just gonna get better, you know?
Yeah, nah, facts.
Now you got someone like Zion doing what he's doing. It's like, I watched what was that, there's a physics channel that did a breakdown. If he continues on his trajectory, he'll have a 52-inch vert by the time that he's 30, I believe they said, because he's losing weight and he hasn't lost any of his kinetic force. So according to science analysts, once he drops 15 pounds in the next 4 or 5 years, he'll have a 50 to 52-inch vert.
That's crazy, man. I in regards to Zion, the other day I was I think I did a video where I was talking about Stephen A. Smith and LaMelo. Somebody asked him who he would choose to start a franchise with at this point, Zion or LaMelo. And I was going through looking for pictures to have for the thumbnail, and he is huge. It's ridiculous how big he. I was like scrolling. I'm like, yo, who is this? He looks like not a linebacker. He looked like, I don't even know. Like, even if he's so big that if he played football, I don't know what position he would play. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm 6'5", 235, and he makes me fucking feel small. Sorry, I didn't mean to drop anything, but he makes me feel small, man. Like, because I live close to New Orleans. I used to go see AD play and everything all the time. Like, he is just massive.
Yeah, huge, man. It's
And
ridiculous.
then the first time I saw him like actually jump in person, I had to watch it again. I was like, wait a second, what?
Have I seen? I went to the game in New Orleans when Melo and Lonzo played for the first time. And
I wish I was there.
I was there, man, but it was kind of like a gift and a curse, right? So obviously because I'm like kind of associated with them a bit, I ended up getting tickets from Lonzo to go to the game. So I ended up the coach of the Los Angeles Ballers, who was their cousin. He I went down there and stayed with them. And then, so I had to go sit like in the family and friends section. And because they have such notoriety or whatever, we were sitting like way up in the top. So it was like me, Jello, Demo, Lonzo's girlfriend, his daughter, and all of this, like in the top bleacher, you know what I mean? Way up in there.
That was where my first game was, man.
Yeah.
And
way up there, but it sucked because we were so far. And like, I remember I went to here in yeah, man, hit the like button, man. So I went to a LeBron game. He played here at the Pacers in the playoffs, and I like went ahead and splurged and got like row 5 or whatever. And I was so close to the floor, and I was like, God, LeBron is huge. And I can only imagine that getting up close to Zion is the same thing, just because in the pictures, I'm talking about, I create like thumbnails all the time. So I go through and scrolling at these, and he looks like nothing like an NBA player. He looks like, it's ridiculous, his size.
Yeah, he does not look like he's playing the right sport.
Yeah, exactly.
That man looks like he belongs on like a Greek gladiator statue or something, not playing basketball. Like,
he looks like I don't know if you ever seen that show a long time ago. It was American, yeah, and you just made me think of American Gladiators.
Yeah, they're just all giant. You're looking at them going,
exactly.
Where did these people come from?
Exactly. Yep. Hold on, and I want to address, and I had this up here. Terrence Sandberg says LaMelo's the truth. I love his game after seeing him play in Europe in the Met LeVar when Kanye West showed up at halftime. Bro, I would tell you, I was there. It was in not Berlin. What is it? Not Poland. What? Man, where? I can't even think. Man, it was not. It was Brussels. Where's Brussels at? Anybody? You know where Brussels is? What's the country that Brussels is in?
I want to say Germany, but I feel like I'm wrong.
Okay, damn. I can't remember. Where was this game at, Terrence? If you still there, what country was that? But I can't remember at the moment. But it was a crazy time. But that was the weirdest, craziest experience that I have ever kind of been in, because
Belgium.
It's Belgium. Yes, Belgium. That's where it was. It's in Belgium. And so we are at this game, and I kind of knew that they had been communicating with Kanye West at the time, but like, we're commentating and I'm talking through the game. Yeah, Sean Oliver says Belgium as well. And we're commentating, and all of a sudden it's erupted. And I'm thinking like, oh shoot, it's a fight, right? Like they over there going at it. And I look up and Kanye West is walking in the gym, and like I lost my mind as well. And so it was one of the dopest experiences to think about how what that movement was, where we're in Belgium playing this random game with this random league that most media outlets in the United States not even like giving any clout to or clarity or shine to, and Kanye West shows up at the game and like sets the whole country on fire. So it was just crazy to see, man. But
that's what happens when you got that much clout, man. Like when you actually out there balling, everyone's gonna come see you, man.
That's a fact. Yep. And so that was dope, man. But that comment took me back for a second into that day. And so that was dope, man. But we got 106 people in here, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. It's much appreciated. To you know what I mean? You know how these algorithms work, where they need to let people know, and they only gonna let people know that we live right now if you like the video, and they feel like it's important based off of that, man. But like my man Rap God here says, yeah, Zion is built like a tank And I think that, and I'll ask you this question to get your opinion. So, like I said, the other day, I actually did a video talking about Zion in comparison to LaMelo. And the video was basically about who would you rather start a franchise with at this point, right? So what we've seen is obviously Zion has been in the league a bit longer, and you get the sample size from him. However, we've seen LaMelo seem to have this immediate impact on the Hornets. So the question that I'm saying is, like, who do you think right now, if you were a GM of your own team and you had to pick between Zion and LaMelo to kind of build around, which way would you lean to?
I'm saying LaMelo, like 100%, because he's going to have people that want to come play with him. Zion's going to hold the ball. He's going to have people that are like, yeah, he's going to score, he's going to finish. But LaMelo people are going to be like, yo, I'm going to score 50 points with this kid next to me, you know? Like,
yeah,
this kid's about to get me the bag. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. I think that is in today's NBA, where we see super team after super team and we see player mobility at an all-time high, having a guy on your team that other guys in the league potentially want to play with, to me is like, it's just the easy answer. You know what I'm saying? Because it is like when you watch the Hornets now and LaMelo's on the court, obviously LaMelo has the clout to where if he gives you an assist and you score, they're gonna give him the highlight just as much as they're gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But however, what we see is he is on a team where Terry Rozier playing with LaMelo oftentimes look like the best player on the court.
oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does.
Like, there are times where playing with LaMelo, Gordon Hayward looks like the best player on the court.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it is dope to have a guy like LaMelo who you can see his impact on the game and you can see his star power and capability, but he also plays the game to where you might have a night where you look like the best. Malik Monk at times has looked out of his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Looked like he deserved a $20 million contract tonight. You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on?
Exactly. And this is something that I was just talking. I was on another channel earlier, Hoop Jargon. We were talking about this, and I brought up when you look at a guy like LeBron James, and I'm not trying to don't misquote, don't think that I'm saying that LaMelo is better than LeBron at this point or anything like that. But when I look at a guy like LeBron James, who oftentimes players end up wanting to play with as well, what I realize is that most of the time when you get on a LeBron James led team, you have to take a back seat. You know what I'm saying? So you don't get an opportunity to like have better stats. If you could be an all-star, and if you go to join a LeBron team, you're taking a chance that you might not be an all-star the next season. And what I think that what we see from a LaMelo, and I think that what's obvious is that you can join a LaMelo team and you might elevate your game to all-star level, right? When you look at Miles Bridges, PJ Washington,
they come out of nowhere and they look like stars. They're just
look like stars. It's just easy buckets. Your shot percentage is going up because you're in position right now where you're scoring easy buckets. You ain't got to work all that hard. And yeah, somebody says here, Jay Banks says, you become a catch and shoot player with LeBron. Yeah. That's who you become. Stand in the corner.
Look pretty.
Exactly. Stand in the corner, and if you can knock down that corner three, and in moments where, and I don't want, and this is not a knock on LeBron, right? And as we know, LeBron is going to make the right play, right? That's one of the things that people actually do try to criticize him for, is late game he might do something and then give you the ball. And with a LaMelo, you know that the first time you take a critical shot in the game will not be in the fourth quarter with 6 seconds left and we need this bucket and I'm going to find you. You know what I'm saying?
You're not going to come off the bench and all of a sudden find the ball with a minute left or a second left on the clock and be like, what's going on?
Exactly. Yeah. And the game on the line, and all of the pressure is on me to now knock down the shot for the first time.
And then you miss it and you're traded tomorrow.
Exactly. And exactly. And all social media is looking at you like you just ruined it. You get guys like I remember when I forgot which team it was, but when Malik Monk hit the game winner, he got fouled and then had to go to the free throw line to like ice it. But I remember him talking about, and if you remember this game, drop it in the comment for me. But I remember him saying that before they ran a play, it was Malik was hot, and then I believe it was PJ Washington. And then he was saying that Borrego drew up a play, and he told LaMelo either give it to Malik or give it to PJ. And LaMelo said, Malik, you're about to get the ball. Get ready.
You know? I think he said you're about to hit this shot. Yeah. Something like that. He's like, I'm hitting you. You're going to hit this shot. Like, he said it's so confident that I just knew I was going to do it.
Exactly. And that is the type of guy who you want to be around, where Malik Monk is hot right now.
Oh, yeah. And I remember that game. He was on fire. Exactly.
And we're going to get you the ball. Not just we got you on the team because we know you're an elite shooter. We've seen this so many times. I remember with LeBron, and I hate to, I'm not trying to be critical of LeBron, but I remember
so much. It's so easy to just bring up all of his moments.
Exactly, yeah, and because he's had highs and lows and all of that jazz. But there's these times where I remember it was a J.R. Smith, and it was versus the Warriors or whatever, I believe it was, when it's a close game and they're down, and all of a sudden they bring JR in off the bench, and then he knocks down like 3 threes in a row just off, you know what I mean? Just like we talking about, we know you're a shooter, you ain't played pretty much all night. Now we want you to jack up some threes, and then he hit those things, and then they go on to win that game. So we I don't know. It's just such a difference.
I do got to admit though, having someone like Devontae, he straight up can come off the bench and just hit 3 threes, and he'll just tell you, yeah, I'm going to hit these 3 threes. Like he's been playing pretty well. Like as much as people want to knock him and everything and say, oh, start Melo and stuff, you got to still give him his credit. He's still balling.
Yeah, I am one of those who like, I think that, and I'm watching this season, I believe that Devontae Graham has showed his value to the organization. I think that they put him in a tough position to start the season with having LaMelo behind him, like a tough position mentally, where the guy who is the most notoriety of any rookie right now, the 3rd overall pick, probably could have been number 1, point guard, is playing behind the guy who's still on his rookie contract, a guy who had a breakout season the year before, probably would have been the most improved had not been for some other guys. And now you put this generational transcendent talent behind him on his heels. And I think that started the season rough for him and didn't allow him to like just mentally approach all of the games with the highest amount of confidence. But
I got to admit, we're going to probably look back on this in 5 years and be like, man, it was crazy that Melo was behind Devontae and that those two were battling it out. And we're going to look back and be like, man, they really developed because of that. Because they're going to have at least 2-3 years fighting each other. Like those two are going to battle it out. Like,
here's the thing though. I don't believe that
in a good way. Like,
I know what I'll say is I don't believe that there will be. I don't think that the way management is talking is that those two players will have to fight each other for much longer. I think that this offseason, either Devontae has moved somewhere or Terry Rozier's moved somewhere, and you have those two guys. I don't think that they keep that 3-headed like point guard monster that they have right now between Terry, Devontae. I think just to make everybody happy, because Devontae is going to get a bag this offseason. He's going to get a bag. And so in order to give him the bag, you're going to have to get rid of Terry in order to or you're going to have to let him go and get the bag from somewhere else, because I think that the way he's going to close out this season, and I believe that now that the pressure's off, because there is no Melo to be on his heels, he's playing excellent basketball as well at times.
See, I think my dream as the fan was move on from Monk, possibly get some good trades with all your players and stuff. The Martin twins they're looking all right. They just need a little bit more time, and possibly give Devontae the bag until Melo's rookie contract's up, hold the three-headed monster, have just this terrifying three monster guard set up.
Yeah.
And then whenever Melo's rookie's contract's up, then you kind of move everything around.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's kind of what they get for it, because I know Devontae is going to be pretty hot coming up.
Yeah. I think in this market, this free agent market, this offseason, Devontae Graham is going to be a sought-after piece. And so it'll be tough.
Can I just say they did Melo dirty, knocking him down 1-6 while still giving okay, how do you give him rookie of the month and knock him down 5 spots? And you're looking at all their numbers and he leads all of them. It's still leading all of them. What are they just trying to get people to rage click, trying to get people to talk about?
Yeah.
I think if Melo won rookie of the month of March, he has a chance of winning rookie of the year.
Yeah. That's what I think too. I think that they gave him this rookie of the month just to let everybody know, hey, it's not a contest. He got it. We already decided. I think that's what that was. It was just we're not even about to play that game. It's over. If you have eyes and you appreciate basketball, you know that what he did. And this is, because I have this conversation because I still am advocating for him to win rookie of the year. So people tell me all the time, but it's the other guys are going to continue to play and eclipse him, right? And the point that I keep trying to bring up to people is that at the end of the season, once these other guys get to a place where they will eclipse LaMelo potentially statistically, they will just barely be passing him. So it's you have 30 more games and you might have 3 more assists than LaMelo. You might have 10 more rebounds than LaMelo. You might have I think when it comes to points, Anthony Edwards is going to run away with the point situation. But
if you look statistically, and I know people hate going, if you look statistically, I honestly think it's impossible for any rookie to have even half of his efficiency numbers. And that's a little exaggerated, but if you look at just his efficiency numbers, metadata, it's 10, 20, 30 points above everyone else. And you're this looks like a clown world. It's who did this? Who made these charts? What 2K game am I playing?
Facts. Yeah. And that's, you're right, man. If you look at that, there's not going to LaMelo Ball at All-Star break was leading rookies in all statistical categories. And so there will not be one rookie at the end of the season who surpasses him in all statistical categories. There'll be one rookie who maybe Anthony Edwards might pass him as far as points goes. Halliburton might pass him as far as assists goes and maybe rebounds, and maybe not even rebounds, just assists. Somebody maybe else might get it.
That's a struggle.
James Wiseman might pass him at rebounds. Halliburton might get him at assists, and Edwards might, you know what I mean? And so you got to realize that he was leading in all of those statistical categories, and he's a point guard. So I hear people say this to me as well. When I start going down this list, they be like, but Anthony Edwards is a shooting guard. Of course, LaMelo is going to have more assists than him. But I have to point out that, but James Wiseman is a center, and LaMelo was out rebounding him as well. So just because you play a position, they're not saying, hey, Anthony Edwards, if you can facilitate offense, then don't do it because we don't need you to do it. No, if you can do it, they want you to do it. LaMelo can rebound. They saying, bro, you know what? Go ahead and get some rebounds, though you playing point guard.
Next time they tell you that, just bring up their the time that the ball's in their hands. Because you look at Anthony, you look anyone's their possession rating. It's either more than Melo, and they're not doing anything with it. They're just dribbling around and passing it off. Like every time Melo gets the ball, you look at it, if he doesn't do something with it within 3 to 6 seconds, either Biz or Terry's yelling at him. It's hilarious. And that's just the drive they play with him, because he just pumps the gas. That's what he does. He goes. So you don't have to give him the ball for the whole entire shot clock. You can give him the ball for a quarter of the shot clock and he does his thing. And if he doesn't get the opening, he gives it off to someone else and they score.
Yeah. And that's what makes him great, right? And
a
lot of times when you listen to him talk, they say, bro, where do you get this from? How do you play like this? Where's your basketball IQ come from? Your greatness and all of this jazz. And at the end of the day, he goes back and says, yo, I got it from my dad. I got it. I've been doing this for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
The big ball made a weird trio, but NBA doesn't know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Honestly, it's like if you would have put them in the league probably 30 years ago, I think they would have probably loved it just because of how active the players are, like how active all the boys are.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I think it's like a weird zone where everyone's like, yo, they play too fast. They're putting up too many shots. Like,
yeah. But you know what? It's so crazy because allegedly, at this point, the game is being played faster than it has ever been played. You know what I mean? So you look at the Golden State Warriors and you look at the impact that Steph Curry and folks like him have had on the NBA and the 3-point shot and analytics and all of this jazz. And that style of play is still ahead of its time. You know what I mean? I
think in 10 years, people are going to realize that's where it's moving. But the thing is they went from a transition of, we got a lot of good shooters, Pistol Pete running the floor, shooting around, everyone's dancing around him, just trying to chase him around, to now we got Shaq and Kobe just dominating everyone on the floor. Now we got to morph back into, we got these kids that are scoring every 10 seconds and everyone's worn out except for them as they dance around everyone. Because that's really what you put all three boys on the floor together, people can't keep up. They're just exhausted within a minute. It's hilarious. And then they just start scoring 20, 30 points. They go on a run and you're just sitting there going, where'd the game go?
Exactly. And it's so crazy because it's such an intentional thing, right? It's the intent is to exploit like the most basic elements of sports, right? Is your endurance. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you can play. And this is something that I realized too, watching a lot of basketball, is that what separates like great NBA players and like G-League players and like the best guy on your college team and the best dude on your high school team and down the list of guys who are really good but can't make it to the next level is consistency, right? Yeah. Any guy, you look at Malik Monk, who can go off for 40, 30 on one night, next night give you 6, right? Yeah. Any guy can in the NBA is talented enough to have a elite game 1 out of 82 games. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody, you can take guys in the G League. Yeah. You what's the there's one kid, what's the dude who was in the G League a while back? And he was with the Lakers, and I can't remember his name. Older dude, he was in the G League for like 10 years, and then all of a sudden they put him in for the Lakers for like one game, and all of a sudden he started just knocking down shots. He started knocking down shots. I can't remember, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Old dude, Lakers. He played his first game ever in NBA, his NBA career, coming from the G League, and just started raining threes. And then the next couple of games, he came back to reality. You know what I'm saying? You look at guys like a Jeremy Lin, who is dope, and he had that run where things was Lin's sanity, and he was amazing. Andre Ingram, yes, that's his name. Yes, Andre Ingram. Andre Ingram was killing, looked like, damn, how you ain't been in the NBA this whole time? And what separates guys like that from other guys is the consistency to be able to deal with the pressure, the scrutiny of being in the NBA and all of these things, and provide those type of numbers and that shooting at a high clip on a night in, night out basis.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference. And
Another thing that's terrifying too is like with Andre Ingram is like his first game coming in. Yeah, they got kind of a scouting report. They kind of know what he's going to do. And then especially having a game where he just drops like that. Every single player in the NBA, they're going to their coach, whoever their position coach is, and they're being like, yo, give me everything on this dude. And they're going home and they hit in the book. And that's the thing is in the NBA, it's the level of like, see, I played like low level college, played in high school, but I was more golfer, sailor kind of kid. I grew up in Florida, man. Like, beaches everywhere. But thing is, these people are at the level where it's like you call a play, and the problem is you better know that play straight up because he knows that play straight up. So if you have one person on your court that's just a step out of place, they're going to intercept it because they know exactly where your place is. Yeah. Like they know where that ball's coming to. They know what's going on. And you just got to be that much better than everyone else on the court. And when everyone on the court's as good as you, it's asking a lot.
Let me have my man, FYF Sports Debate, Lamont in the building. What's happening, man?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
What's good, man? Back to basketball. Hey, this league, especially with a lot of these G League players, it's so crazy because if you look at like the last 5 or 6 G League MVPs, like I'm gonna give you one example, like Chris Boucher, who played for the Toronto Raptors. He was a G League MVP. It took him. They finally brought him up, and it took him a couple years just to get in rotation. And he's only in the rotation now because they traded away all their bigs. He's finally getting the opportunity. It's hard when you get to the G League. It's a grind.
It is.
And the biggest problem I see with G League players is that you will see a lot of guys getting called up, but it never is the best scorer. Yeah. It's usually a guy who could be a 3-and-D guy. So, I mean, usually the leading scorers in the G League are really just auditioning for overseas. They're not auditioning for the NBA. Most of the time they go overseas. So the NBA, they have certain needs. That players that get called up, they usually know ahead of time if they're going to get head up. They probably know months in advance that it's a potential they can get called up. So they're not as worried about their numbers. Guys that are out there trying to score 25, 30 points a game, well, they're pushing for them overseas contracts. So it is just different. The league is different. When you get to playing at that level, you gotta be like I had a coach tell me, even at the college level, and I know the dude who was just in here, he said he played college ball, and when you get to the college level, you gotta be elite at one thing at least. You gotta have one skill set that separates you from whether it's a sniper, 3-point shooter, defender, passer, playmaker. You got to be elite at one skill, and at the NBA level, that enhances even more. You got to get really elite at something. And just for G League guys, just too many guys in the G League are only looking at scoring. It's usually the 3-and-D guys that get the call ups.
Yeah. Which, you know what, is so crazy because that's a fact, right? That's so true. And what's so interesting, though, is that when we typically judge players, especially as fans, the thing that we judge them on the most is if you can score. And like you being an elite scorer at times is not is not the thing that is also going to give you longevity in the NBA, because most teams are not looking to because I remember Vanderbilt, right? When Lonzo and them was with the Lakers, and Vanderbilt was like the best player on their G League team and all that stuff, but he could not really sniff an opportunity. Or Caruso was playing more games for the Lakers than Vanderbilt was, and he was like the MVP of that team at that time, right? And it's the same thing. Vanderbilt in that summer league when Lonzo was going ridiculous was an amazing scorer. But to your point, Caruso got in the rotation a bit, not because he was an elite scorer, but just because he did other things a little bit better. And so I think that is interesting to think that as fans, we point out the scoring as being the end all be all on whether or not we think you trash or you dope or you better than him or you better than that. When truthfully, you're right. It's the 3-and-D dudes who do something really well is what really gives you longevity in the league.
That's why I love players like Jokic, like Draymond Green. They're so much fun to watch because they might not score a single point that night, which honestly, we all know they are going to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to 100%, they can go off for 15 assists every single night. You're not even going to bat an eye. And it's like having someone that just locks down your team like that can just command your team. And it's like, okay, things are going bad. And you just look at that guy and go, okay, what do we do?
People don't realize that at the NBA level, the easiest thing to strategize and prepare for is scores, especially if you're not a top tier scorer like KD, somebody who's just unstoppable. If you're just a Lou Williams, just a guy who scores the ball a lot, it's easy to really game plan against guys like that. It's the guys that are harder to game plan against are the guys like, and this might not be the best example. I would say like a Robert Covington, or Thaddeus Young. These are guys that, well, they're going to play elite defensively, but they can also come out and drop 25 to 30, but they can also be good playmakers at times. And so it's harder for a team to say, okay, we're going to take away this and force him to do that, because the coach is going to have him on the court for a number of different reasons. He's going to be a lead in a number of things other than scoring. So I think Malik Monk was the best example, because he's one of those guys that I know if you send him to the G-League, he's going to average 35 a game. And everybody's going to be like, why is he not playing in the league? And it's just like, they don't need that. And this is why
I'm in the G-League.
I don't. That's where he's headed, though. And it's unfortunate because he's a talented kid. But until he starts to recognize that he needs to do other things on the court, as far as playmaking and defending, he's not going to have staying power in the league. Everybody can score. Everybody. And he got to do more.
I think that where I see Malik Monk finding some value and based on this season is when I look at the Lou Williams of the world, what Jordan Clarkson is doing right now. And I think that if he can consistently present himself as one of these guys who you could bring me in off the bench as a 6th man, 7th man, and on a night when you need a guy off your bench to give you 20, 30 points potentially, I could be that dude for you. And I think that this season has, I believe, humbled him into realizing that might be his role, right? Because I know when you leave Kentucky and you play the McDonald's All-American and you have all these high hopes for your time in the NBA, you think that you're going to be this elite scorer and an all-star year in and year out. And I think that right now, and based on, especially with him not playing a lot early on and getting a lot of DNPs, I feel like I see him maybe settling into, I might just be a perennial 6th man of the year type guy. And I feel like if he is willing to do that, he might avoid the G League.
It's tough, man. I just feel like I honestly believe somebody's going to come along. Like the NBA, every year is precious. You can't waste time. You can easily get patched up. He's good, but he's not good for this team. It's a flawed roster. The Twins aren't good for this team. Vernon Carey's still developing. I know. And again, I was listening to DJ's channel one day, and they were talking about how Vernon Carey was doing good in the G League. I said, that's not going to translate into the NBA because they don't need him to score in the post. They need him to defend, help, sometimes stretch the floor, get up and down fast. Like there's so many other things that he needs to focus on. And the video tells it all when and the game is so sped up. It's tough. It's just tough in this league. So Malik Monk.
This might sound crazy, but what do y'all think? Because Denver 100% was shopping Bol.
Mm-hmm.
Now that man, 7'2", shoots the three like his dad, which is terrifying. Considering his dad has almost 100% from 3-point. But, crazy stats. If you don't know that, go look it up. It's hilarious. But I think honestly, Denver wants to get rid of him. You could probably get him almost for free. Throw him in there. I mean, there's no big 7-footers coming up for a while. Like, who else are you gonna grab?
I hear that, and I think that, like, I think it's tough because when you
They
describe
want to win now too, but that's
when you describe Bol, right, the first thing you go to it is his offensive capabilities. And so when you look at this Hornets team, and like he was just saying about Vernon Carey, people talk about him being a scorer in the G-League, and they're like, but that's not what they need.
That's not what they want.
You need somebody who could protect the rim. You need somebody who has the ability to finish around the rim and maybe be athletic, but like you don't need crazy step backs. You don't need you know what I mean? Like you're not bringing him in to knock down threes and do all that. You bringing him in because you need somebody who got intangibles. So I feel like
that's
why he's not playing right now in Denver, and that's why they went and got Aaron Gordon.
Yep.
It's because we need somebody who can play defense. We need somebody who maybe can score a bit, but what we really need you is to do these small things. And he's in a tough position because his ceiling is crazy. But like you're asking a team to say, you know what, let's give this 18, 19-year-old 7-footer who is 180 pounds, the keys to be an offensive threat, and like nobody's is trying to do that with him.
See, my thing is, I think you almost get Bol to play a lag big, which like Kyle really slow, and all he does is basically guard the paint. Everyone else on your wing has to know that he's not walking out, and you have to cover his three if somebody pulls out. And I think having like LaMelo and stuff, you have enough height. Like LaMelo, Gordon, all of them, they can cover a center like Jokic shooting a three. It's not pretty, but they can do it. And then you just have Bol slowly come down the court, 15 seconds left on the clock. You just have him hit the outside three. I think that's where I see Bol almost like a slow KD. Like,
here's what scares me about Bol. And I was talking to Monty Williams about this, and he told me, he said, in this league, if you are good enough to play, he says coaches will manufacture minutes for you in game. And he gave me an example of Michael Porter Jr. He was like, Michael Porter Jr. showed so much promise in practice and behind the scenes with the Nuggets that they ultimately, even though he wasn't ready defensively, they started to manufacture minutes for him in meaningful games, even though he looked atrocious defensively, especially in the playoffs last year. He says, when you're good, a coach will manufacture 10 to 15 minutes for you. He said, what scares him about Bol is he doesn't see Denver manufacturing minutes for him on the court. And he says, when I see that, he says they see something that telling them that he's just not ready to even be in game in serious moments. And he says that's why other teams are hesitant to even pull the trigger. And another player like that is Mo Bamba. Why teams not pulling the trigger on it? We talk about all the promise, but Orlando, even with the depleted roster, they're not even manufacturing minutes to even get him in more, to showcase him. And that right there should be like an alarm factor for you, or alarm, saying, did they see something in practice behind the scenes that's saying that this guy ain't ready?
And that's, you look at their game, and one thing I gotta say to Bol, and Bol, if you by any weird chance hear this, like you look at him in a game, and the second a ball goes up, he looks like he's checked out. Like, I don't want to sound bad, but he doesn't look like he's about to jump 40 inches into the air and slam this thing into the hoop like you want your 7'2", second longest wingspan ever to play in the NBA kid to do. You know, like this man should be literally grabbing quarters off the top of the backboard and throwing it on people's head. You know, like you should be seeing some Wilt Chamberlain stuff out of this kid. He has it in him.
Yeah, I feel like he has the height for it, but yeah, his just frame is just doesn't seem to be built for all of that.
Have you
to really the what?
Have you seen him jump?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
saying like his athleticism is probably there. Like his agility is there and all of that stuff. But like he's just a frail human being. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I remember when KD got to the league and he was skinny, super skinny as well. And it took him some, but obviously nobody, what you just described for Bowl to do with his wiry frame is what nobody ever asked KD to do. Nobody was ever like, yo, KD, we want you to jump up, grab these rebounds, throw it down, slam, and be aggressive and all of that stuff. They were like, no, KD, you just score. Just be the elite scorer that you are. And nobody's going to ask Bo to do that at this point, right? It's his game ain't quite there. But so I don't know. I think that because I remember they were – even with the Pelicans, there was some talk about trying to get Bol and Zion together and all of that. So his name comes up in a bunch of stuff. But I like what you said, Lamont, about like, yo, they're just not trying to get the minutes. And I think a perfect example of that is like, and we talk about this like LaMelo, where we could tell that at the beginning of the season, based on like obviously the pandemic, the shortened off season, all of that, they were like, yo, we need to bring LaMelo along really slow, right? We're not going to, in his play dictated them to say, you know what, actually we gotta play a little bit more.
Facts.
We gotta play a little bit more. We gotta play a little bit more. And then there was like, all right, he's the starter, and no matter who comes back, it's over. You know what I mean? And so you see them do that. And to be honest, this is something that when people talk to me about Lonzo Ball at times, I bring up that point too, as far as his career trajectory, right? So like what people will say in LA, like they didn't like necessarily give him the keys and the fit was wrong. And I do think that Luke Walton has some culpability with that. But what I realized is like his second game of the season, he scored 29 points and almost had a triple-double second game. So like to me, what that said was they were attempting to give him the ball and be like, yo, this is you. But there was something that was happening that made them feel like over long term he couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I think, and maybe it is like the coaching or whatever wasn't there, but I feel like I just can't imagine that he was as ready as everybody thought he was going to be, and they just like didn't give him the opportunity, especially when I heard Magic Johnson saying, yo, you the leader, it's the future of the franchise, you're going to do all of this stuff, and then for them not to like let him do that, it to me is something that I like use that same like logic that you just talked about with Bobo with him.
As sad as it sounds, man, with anything, there's always ego, there's always politics, and there might be something going on. Like you've seen it probably following overseas, and I'm sure a lot of people played sports. There might be something where yesterday he walked in on the gym 5 minutes late, so the coach is like, screw it, you're losing 10 minutes as a punishment. We just don't know it, you know, like there's so many things that go into it, and it's just like it's kind of crazy as an outside fan looking at it and seeing how things all come together with only half the information.
And again, I was telling people the same situation with Malik Monk to start the year. Remember, he started the year off getting DNP. And people were like, why isn't he playing? A lot of people don't know, and I keep telling people, the Charlotte Hornets do their own drug testing outside of the NBA drug testing. And when he came into camp and he failed that drug test, well, his punishment was to get DNP out of games for that. So it was essentially in a suspension. It was essentially in a suspension, but not really a true suspension from the NBA. He was just getting DNP, but people didn't know that. They just thought James Borrego's playing with his minutes and he's playing favorites. And he wasn't. He wanted to play him because you see he's playing him now. He just had to get through that. That was just a team punishment. And that's just called being accountable. You have to, as much as you want to play him, you have to hold him.
And sometimes being a leader
and that goes to trust too, because now if he can't trust you to stay clean, like how can he trust you in a meaningful minutes in a game? Like coaches at the end of the day will go with who they trust. Melo built that trust up with Borrego, as AB spoke about, and he manufactured more time for LaMelo as he got better. Now he's a consistent starter, even when he comes back now. consistent over 30 minutes a game, even through the mistakes. He's shown that he earned that. And that's what I mean. Draymond Green was a great example. When Draymond Green got his opportunity, what did he do? He showed that he could play. He manufactured he got himself manufactured time into the starting lineup, and then he ended up shipping David Lee out. That's what happens in this league. And I feel like that ultimately that's what's going to happen to Malik Monk. When the next guy comes in, them young guys is hungry. They're going to do any and everything to stay in the league. Somebody's going to come in and be that 3-and-D guy that's going to push him up out of there. That's just the reality of the NBA. It's ruthless.
Yeah, it is, man. And we talked about this earlier. Was from that Mitch Kupchak interview, and he basically said, "Yo, we don't believe that our team as constructed is it. Like we're not good enough to win like we want to in this league." And I feel like, and that's what I was saying. Like that's some brutal honesty. Like a lot of folks will cap for all of those guys and talk about how great Malik is and Terry and Devontae and all of this stuff. But the reality is that if they want, and we were talking about this earlier, the difference between the 4th seed and the 3rd seed, there's a huge gap right now in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? So if you're going to make that jump, you're not making that jump with the roster as it's currently constructed. And it's not even just like, well, it partly is. I think that if you had some better bigs, like you'd be a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like that's right now, if you could just make you could have a Harry Potter wand. Yeah, and you could just say, we just want to do 2. Give me
Alakazam, here comes Draymond.
Exactly. Yeah. Ooh, that would change the dynamic of this team a little. Drummond, exactly. I know you're talking about. That would be something else. But I think that what's tough is in order to get that big that you want, you're gonna have to lose some of them other pieces that people in love with. And it's gonna change the dynamic of that squad, and it'll be interesting to see what it looked like.
I don't know. I think honestly, you might do a sign and trade with Cody if you get an offer, but I think you might take back Biz and try and shop for a good 7-footer on the market. Because I don't.
Too late. It's too late. They're
free agents. I'm talking off season.
Yeah, they're free agents. That's the problem. They're both free agents.
Yep.
And so.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you clear salary cap space.
Brought it up.
Yes, business now. Now the business side. Now we about to really see Mitch Kupchak go to work. This summer is going to determine if he knows what he's doing. He's going to have to make
salary cap do they have coming up?
They have the most. They're going to have the most next to the Knicks going into free agency, and now it's about convincing. Charlotte's always going to have to overpay to bring somebody in. So just like they did with Gordon Hayward, they're going to have to overpay another star to come in. And that's fine. That's fine. You might not like the number, like we didn't like the number. A lot of people didn't like Gordon Hayward's number, but this Charlotte, nobody's coming to Charlotte just because of LaMelo. People didn't even go to Cleveland because of LeBron. What makes you think they're gonna go to Charlotte because of LaMelo?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, they're gonna have to overpay a star to come, and then they have their 3-headed beast, and then you got to build off that.
So they can do another 25 to 27 million. It looks like.
That sounds about right.
But I mean, who do you grab though for that?
I mean, I don't even know who's out there that's free right now. I mean, looking at the people out there.
I think biggest name is Schroeder, and I don't think that's anything we need.
Yeah,
no, that's definitely not what you need.
I think I looked it up a while back. Who was free agents? I think the biggest name is African dude was up in Toronto. Was in Oklahoma City as well. Damn, what's
African dude?
Yeah, Spanish. I mean, Spanish dude. He black dude. He from over that way. God, what's it? Hold on a second, man. Let me.
Hey, if you don't know his name, then they don't need to sign.
Well, I was saying that.
Keep away.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, don't sign him. Don't do no experimental signings. Go with somebody who you know what you get.
That's what I'm saying. No, you know his name, but I don't think that his game translates to what they need anyway.
Wait, real quick. What do you think about picking up Kelly Olynyk?
It don't move the needle much though. It helps, but it don't move the needle. That's the problem.
Hey, he can hit some threes, and Rockets do not want him. It looks like I don't think they're keeping him.
I mean, again, you go in the right direction, but we talking about. I think your first priority needs to be signing that impact player.
Yeah,
and Kelly Olynyk. If you go into the offseason talking about our priority is getting Kelly Olynyk first, then we got to start talking about let's fire Mitch Kupchak. We got to get him up out of
Yeah.
here.
I just don't see anyone really open.
Yeah, I don't either. And people are, with the COVID situation, people are locking themselves up into long-term deals. They're not about to play around with these short-term deals anymore.
Because you're looking at possibly the NBA salary cap going down.
Yeah, so they're not going to – players are going to lock in their money and get off the market.
Yo, it's Serge Ibaka. That's what I was thinking.
No, he's with the Clippers now.
No, Serge is gonna stay in Los Angeles. He's building like off NBA stuff. He's building a like $2-something million studio there.
Yeah, well,
I don't think he's leaving.
I don't think we need him. I was just saying like that is the out of bigs who are coming up in free agency. That's the biggest name is Serge Ibaka.
Oh, that's not good.
That's what I'm saying. It's not good, and it's like. And I think where the tough part that they're in right now is if you package Biyombo and Zeller together, you're still not going to get the quality of player that you would have wanted anyway, you know? So it's a shitty situation right now for the Hornets. But I'm interested to see, like you said, if Mitch Kupchak earned that paycheck and make a way out of nowhere.
He's going to have to. He got a tough job. I told people when I saw this roster, I said it's a flawed roster. It's going to take about 5 years to fix. And people just got to understand that this is for the long haul. Don't come into next year just thinking because you have LaMelo, we have Eastern Conference playoff aspirations. No, you don't. No, that's not realistic. If you can overplay and get there, fine. But that's not the reality of the situation. This is a very flawed roster. Terry Rozier, I felt like they should have moved him at the trade deadline. Again, it's about giving up something to get what you need for the future. You don't want to see him go, but I think he hit his ceiling. The best of Terry Rozier we just saw.
Yep.
That's the best of Terry Rozier.
That's the sad part. And he's looking good.
And he did, but it's not when you look at it long term. Are we saying can you envision Terry Rozier next to LaMelo winning an NBA championship? I don't see that. That just don't not at the money he's making. So I'm thinking move him, get in position to get some players that you need that will fit long term. I just don't see it.
I think that if LaMelo doesn't get hurt right before the trade deadline, that they make a move on. That's the time where they would have made a move on like a guy like Terry Rozier. But like to trade him now and bring somebody else in, like there's not many people you could trade a Terry Rozier for to bring in and still keep the team playing at the level that they're playing at, like at this moment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think that if you have LaMelo and then you could switch to get a better fit, then I think that they do that. But I think that they just riding this season out just because. But here, I don't know if it's big enough so y'all can see it. But here's the list of free agents, free agent centers coming up next year. And you can see
Whiteside, maybe.
Yeah, Whiteside. But yeah, a bunch of these,
that Taco down there. If they sign Taco, I'm definitely buying season tickets. Just saying. You heard me, Jordan. I don't care if he sits on the bench. I'll come watch him on the bench. I'm still buying tickets.
They have to be very mindful of the culture right now, the culture of the team. And bringing in Whiteside, he's known to be toxic to a lot of locker rooms. So they gotta with a young team like this, you gotta be very mindful. Like I think going after. Just even if this is the last year of his contract, bringing in a guy like Al Horford, would be very, very impactful for their
so
culture.
That knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, you learn. He can teach run and carry. You bring in good culture. You might be overpaying for him, but again, it's the culture that's coming with him that might help. And so, but people take that for granted a lot when it comes to NBA basketball.
Yeah,
having just look at the Suns right now. What everyone's doing with Chris Paul coming in, everyone on that team's loving it. Like, he's bringing so much book knowledge, so much time knowledge, and just telling the kids how to actually be ready for the game. There's so much outside of the court that you have to do, and that's what he just brings. Is he can be like, hey guys, for this is what you do for your nerves. I mean, yeah, he's never made it the full way, but hopefully this year he sees it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really hoping for the Suns to pull out this year. That team, they're doing stuff.
I think is if you got a healthy LeBron and AD, it's gonna be hard for
it's gonna
to
be
come
hard.
out the West.
If everyone in the league is healthy, you're gonna see a crazy Eastern final between the 76ers and the Nets. And then you're going to see a crazy final between whoever won that and the Lakers.
I would say if I do like what the Nuggets are doing with the way that they play.
Scary.
Yeah, the way that they ended last season in the playoffs, and your boy Jamal Murray going bananas.
Yeah,
if they could use that bit of playoff experience and then with just adding Aaron Gordon and some of the pieces and how everybody playing over there, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave the Lakers a run for their money or got lucky or somehow, you know what I'm saying, and made it into that final. But
I think game day though, you're gonna have Bron and AD lock down Jokic. And you're just going to have so many good players that it's just such an uphill battle for the Nuggets. As much as I love them, I think they're too centric around Jokic and Murray.
But that's what I'm saying, though. They have.
Yeah. I said the same thing yesterday.
They have some time to figure out how to get Gordon into the.
And that's what's scary is if he becomes that third cog and just you always have him to space out and everything, that's really where things get terrifying.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. If they could figure that out and actually elevate what they were doing last year and add with these other pieces, I feel like it's a scary squad. Oh man, say why does the stream don't interact with the chat, man? I didn't even see y'all over there talking. I didn't even see it over there, man. We ain't even. Can we get to 100 likes?
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hold on. If you might tell them to send those super chats if you got the monetization on.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah, if y'all got something to say and we don't see it, throw the super chat through.
Send the super chat.
We definitely that'll catch my eye right there. I'll be like, oh shoot, my Renegon.
I do gotta say one thing to Joey where he's saying that there's no way Melo's staying long term in Charlotte. One thing I do gotta say is the Ball family keeps talking about how much they want to get into sports, how much they want to own stuff. And a lot of people talk about how Jordan and Melo are against each other and Puma and all this. People don't think about the fact they both sit on the same board for a headphone company. They both have business minds. Both these people are huge, moving brand forward. And you really think that Michael Jordan, Mr. makes billions in shoes, is going to just let this kid walk? I think if you see Melo turn into the megastar that everyone knows he's going to, you're going to see Jordan be like, nah, this is Melo's city. If this is the new Melo. Nah, forget Carmelo Anthony. This is the 8-ring Melo. You know what I mean?
Well, Melo is going to be in Charlotte for at least 7 years because he's going to be a restricted free agent.
Supermax.
well, he's going to be restricted. So I don't care if he wants to go or if he wants to stay. They're going to match any offer for him. He's going to get the max. He's already proven it this year. Unless there's some devastating injury or something that greatly devalues him, he's going to be in Charlotte for the next 7 years, just like all the greats, like LeBron and Gordon Hayward. All of these guys spent 7 years in their base team because of restricted free agency. So it's just not realistic to just say he's leaving first chance he gets. Well, the first real chance he's going to get is going to be in 7 years when he's a free agent, not a restricted free agent. So again, it's just like, and that's what I mean by bringing the realism into this. Like, we're going to talk about LaMelo. Let's not talk about him in these fantasies, him going to these other teams, pairing up with all his brothers. Okay, yes, the Chino Hill dreams would be great and dandy, but in the basketball sense of it, what makes sense for the team is not going to work. Like, if you want to see a championship team, then that's not going to happen. Because Lonzo's game is best suited for a contender right now. LaMelo's game is best suited for a team that's up and coming, like right now. And Jello is a guy who can fit in probably on a contending team, but just as a 3-and-D shooter, if he can prove that he can play D at a high level. They all have different roles, and and just let them pave their own way. If they meet up and play together, fine, so be it. But it's not going to be for a long time.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be when they're all 35, like around that age, like when they're all on the buyout market. That might be the time when we see the Chino Hill run, like.
We might see it. I mean, if we do, great. But I just like talking about the reality of the situation. It's just, it's not going to happen. Like Jello, I would love to see Jello go to the NBL and play overseas and really build up a resume and get something under his belt where that people can justify saying he belongs in the league with. Because you think LaMelo, they vouched for him in the NBL. He had a lot of NBA guys after he played over there, even if it was 11 games, they were coming back saying, no, he the truth. A lot of people were saying it after the fact. So maybe he just needs to go somewhere and prove himself first before we start jumping down that boat saying he belongs in the league, because it's not easy.
See, my biggest thing is I think you end up with all these coaches and you end up with all these things. And I don't want to get too political, but you have a country where he doesn't have the best reputation that brings in like 30-40% of the income. And as someone that has a lot of Chinese family, vengeance dies hard.
Sucks right there.
And that's the sad truth of whenever you're at the pinnacle of the pinnacle. If you want to climb Everest, you got to be on that tip. It's one little slip can ruin everything, and that's
What do y'all think? Because I heard y'all talking about like being the face of Charlotte and all of that stuff. So there's a conspiracy theory that as a competitor for Mr. Jordan, with LaMelo being a Puma guy, like maybe there's some incentive for him not to want LaMelo to. There's incentive for him to want to be a great player, but not maybe be the face of the franchise and maybe not receive all of that marketing and accolades and acclaim because it's a competitive brand.
Biggest part of that, you look at that deal. When does Melo lose free up from that Puma deal? Right after you were just talking about 7 years from now, he's free from that. So if Jordan just tampers with his career for 7 years, he can just thwart Puma right there. That's where I'm looking at going. That's a little meddling, but
I don't
want to throw crazy accusations, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was talking to a coach about some of this stuff, and then he had to remind me. He was like, all too well, whether it's GM or whether it's actual players don't even think about stuff like that. Jordan, that's probably the last thing in his mind right now. He's trying to figure out how to get a winning franchise. And if LaMelo Ball is part of that, I don't think he makes so much money with the Jordan brand. Whether LaMelo signs with them or not, or is a part of that or not, I don't think he cares. He's a billionaire. What is LaMelo signing with Jordan brand? What, he gonna get a few more million? He's a billionaire. It's about winning as a player and as a owner of a team and bringing a championship to Charlotte. And he's headed down the right way. He's headed the right path now by drafting LaMelo.
That's one thing you got to say to like Jordan's just his ego in a good way. He wants to win. He's going to win. Jordan, do you really think that This man, the greatest basketball player to ever step on a court, feels good being called the worst GM to ever own a team.
Yeah.
Like, in the same sentence, he's the greatest basketball player and the worst team owner. And do you really think that's what he wants his legacy to be?
No, I don't think. I think, of course not. I think that one of the things that, like, if you listen to like these sneaker wars podcasts and you look at the history of how these sneaker companies compete against each other, it seems like maybe just a few million here and there, but like the market share shifting, it could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you think about the difference between Jordan signing with Nike at one point and then Jordan signing with Adidas, and what that does for like the future of basketball and sneakers. I don't know if LaMelo, because it's hard to say like where his impact actually is when you look at like the All-Star votes and like some of the other things that seem to be like that fan interaction and his popularity would have been able to sway, and it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Even with the domestic jersey sales and all of that stuff. So I don't know, and I don't know what the impact that all of that is going to say as far as the trajectory of the future, as far as the culture of sneakers and sales and all of that jazz. But I just think that it's interesting that if you have a guy who is a generational talent and all of these players are co-signing and there's a global thing, like I could see just a little bit how it might behoove some folks to like slow down the hype train just a little bit.
I 100% can agree, and I can see where Jordan would be like, yo, my paycheck not as big. What's going on? But same time, you got to look at like return on investment and cash out opportunity. Like Jordan gets a set amount from Nike for being that. Plus he gets his payout or whatever. I forgot. I saw the contract one time. It's kind of crazy how much money he gets, right? I think like 2 generations of his kids get money after him. It's nuts. It's kind of hilarious. Like, but you look at something like that, and then you compare it to like Melo's Puma deal, where he only is in for 7 years. And if you look at this, basically it's Melo setting up to where he has investment capital to where he can go ahead and start off his brand, do whatever he's doing. Rep this shoe brand. They're going to give him a nice jet and everything, fly him around everywhere. He's going to be taken care of coming into the league, right? But at the end of the day, whenever that 7-year clock's up, either they got to throw the bag at him or he's going to go do his own thing, and they just funded it. Like,
yeah.
And that's really at the end of the day, if you want to be a smart investor, invest someone else's money. Like,
yeah. But do y'all agree that over the last like 5 years, the importance of the shoe game in the NBA has kind of went down? Because like I remember back in the 90s, like when Pippen shoes dropped, had to go get them. Jordan shoes dropped, you had to go get them. And this is for hooping wise. And if Penny Hardaway shoes dropped, that was directly associated with Penny on the basketball court. Like nobody's going out saying, "Oh, let me get Chris Paul's Jordan shoes, or let me get Zion's Jordan shoes, or let me get the Giannis's Nike shoes." Like nobody's saying, because what's happened now is everybody has a shoe deal. So because everybody has a shoe deal and the market's so diluted, it's nothing special about getting a guy's shoe no more. Like Giannis has had 2 or 3 shoes now, and nobody could even point the shoe out if they saw it.
Yeah,
what I hate is every player uses these like kind of cookie cutter shoes. I played forward. I'm 6'5". I love to dunk and jump. I liked a good high top. Mm-hmm. And now you look at all these players, they come out with their signature shoe. It's this low top, sleek, giant heel for some reason because they want to make it flashy to where people are going to buy it. And it's like, reason why people bought old shoes was because they were really, really good. And you could see yourself throwing down in them. Like you could actually play in
I'm
them.
not going to say they was good basketball. Like I picked up a pair of the Pippins. I got some of them. Some of the heaviest shoes I've ever felt. Yeah, but I know what you mean though. Like the perception was, the perception like when you bought these,
it was going to be elite.
Yes, that and there's no perception of that anymore.
Yeah,
and so there's nothing special about the shoes. It's more so social media following.
Yep.
What I think is, and for me, right, because I used to be in the sneakers, right, and I remember back when, like, even Team Jordans was hot. Like, there was a time, there's a few different versions of team. So, like, Eddie Jones had a sneaker, Randy Moss had a sneaker, and like, you could go get any one of those and show up to school and be all right. Now you can't rock a team. You know what I mean? Like, if you're hooping, you could put a Team Jordan on, but like, you're not just finna casually show up anywhere in a Team Jordan. And I think that there was a point in the culture where they elevated the actual shoes Michael Jordan wore so high and made them so limited that it shifted. Like, it made the only shoes that were cool to have were Michael Jordans. So like,
cool shoes B tier.
Exactly. So if you were a LaMelo, nobody cared about a Carmelo shoe because it didn't matter. Nobody cared about a CP3 shoe. You had to have the actual Jordans or you were not cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way that they promoted it for a minute. And I know for me, I was trying to like get into sneakers and trying to buy stuff, and I could never even get the shoe that I wanted. So like the Jordan that everybody was like, if you get this shoe, you cool. And then I had my money ready to buy the shoe and I couldn't even buy it because it was just so limited. So then it just killed it for me. I was like, I don't even want them no more. I don't want none of the shoes. And so I feel like that fell off. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of, and then resellers, like, and I wouldn't be surprised if that like had an impact on like the shoe market as well. Because there was a time, like you said, like Charles Barkley shoes would sell out. Kevin Garnett had the some foam posits that would sell out.
Kobe's that
the
came
gloves, Shaq, like everybody in the NBA had a sneaker. Iverson, you would be hype about all of them. And
but
now,
you're naming superstars of the game. Like, these were the top tier players of the game who had shoes.
Yeah, but Giannis's shoe came out, and I can literally still find it in Foot Locker right now.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying, like, if you look, these guys are signing deals before we even see them play a game. Like, I don't like
true.
Like that deep, to me, that deep values me wanting to get your shoe, because now your shoe is not associated with greatness on the court. Your shoe is associated with your hype and social media following.
Yeah.
Can we all come out and just say Zion needs a specialty shoe with like these giant stitches on the side and everything? Like, he needs this like crazy mecha shoe that comes out. Like,
but so even to that, right? Like, these dudes get the sneaker deal, but they don't get their signature shoes until a while back. So like, even the Zion ain't even got a signature shoe yet. Giannis got one, but it was like 5-6 years of him being in the league. Paul George got one, and it was a long time. You know what I mean? Kyrie got one once LeBron was heading to Cleveland when he first got his signature shoe. So like, it just, I don't know. It's just because even Kobe, right? Kobe was probably the last NBA player who people clamored for his shoes, and they still like are hype about the Kobe still today. LeBron, I can't recall right now in this moment what the LeBrons are for this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure I've seen them before, and if you show me a picture, I'd be like, oh, those are LeBrons, but it's not in my, you know what I mean? Like, it's not in my head right now.
I'm more hyped for Bron's pizza than Bron's shoes, and that's pretty sad. Like, his pizza pretty good. Shout out to Blaze Pizza. Pretty good.
I have Blaze Pizza. My son loved that too. But you know what I think it is though, and I forgot, because honestly, if you think about this, Travis Scott sell more shoes than a lot of these NBA players.
Yeah, he does.
But what I think is
Lil Nas that just did that drop with the satanic shoes. He made more money in those with 666 of them than most of these NBA stars do in a year selling shoes.
Yeah, but
that's sad. I can't touch that. I can't touch that.
No, that's something else. That's a whole other world.
Hey man, you do you craziness, but whatever it takes to make your money, man.
I'm not getting them, not coming close to my feet. No, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't buying them, but I can respect the hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, facts. Yeah. I mean, get your paper. You know what I'm saying? You know what I think it is though when it comes to the sneakers is the money. And there's an article that came out where Nike was saying that they were cutting half of the sponsor athletes anyway, because they have realized the same thing, that the tech in the shoe sells the shoe more so than like the actual athlete does, you know? So like you buy a LeBron because you're a bigger dude and you need some more cushioning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a guard, you buy the Kobe, you know, so
If
it's
you
not
want
even
that
like
kick
LeBron
very
selling
flat.
shoes. But I think that when I think about the time where folks were hype about shoes, it was also like they had the little penny commercial. You know what I'm saying? They had
You
the
go
Beat the
back,
LeBrons.
you
They
go back
had
to the 90s, that's when all the tech was coming in. So you had like this weird mixture of some of the greatest players to ever play getting just this huge boost in technology. Like you literally, I think it was Michael Jordan has a photo of him with his shiny Jordans and everything. And the dude that's guarding him is wearing a pair of flat bottom Converse.
Yeah.
Like it really was these shoes are going to make you jump out the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's also what I'm saying is that like part of that is the marketing that they did to introduce a lot of that stuff.
yeah.
So like the storytelling aspects came of that, where you look at the Jordan 11s and the Space Jam and that patent leather, you know what I mean? Like that's another level of stuff. Even with the Gary Payton in the glove, and they had the like strap and the zipper that, you know what I mean? It was the glove. There was extra elements that they added to the sneakers that match the player back then. I feel like they don't take the time to do that anymore.
Yeah, that was creative. Like they was more creative, I would say, as far as creating ideas, something new. Like I honestly don't even think Gary Payton's shoes looked that good, but it was the fact that they had that zip up feature on it. It was like, dang, that's different right there. Like I gotta go get it. And there's so many shoes like that where it was different. I mean, I would say the last person where I really felt like they was coming out with some creative shoes is Paul George. With the PlayStation lineup shoes, with the NASA shoes. He was creative with it, and people were really clamoring over those. But outside of that, I can't really think of any shoes of late where people were like, I gotta go get me a pair of those. Like even with the Nike Adapts and the Jordans that come out, nobody is resellers that are messing up the market because they're using bots to buy up all the shoes. The common people can't even afford some of these shoes now. There's regular resellers.
The president selling it to her son so that he can resell them, or was that Adidas, one of the companies? Like
I was on the Nike app. I was trying to get a pair of the Nike Adapts when they first dropped. Literally, I had my order ready. I hit checkout with going into like 8 seconds when the shoe dropped, and it said sold out because so many people are using bots to buy the shoes just to resell them for more. And it's just like it takes it that in and of itself right there just takes out the like I don't even want to shop with you. Like it makes me care less about the shoe when you make it this hard to get the shoe because you allow like resellers to just dominate the market. And then I got to go to GOAT and all these other apps to buy it marked up $200-$300. That takes away from it too. So like AB said it right. He said they're just kind of making people not care about it because they allowing people to ruin the market with this reseller.
We all know it's all like just some dude in a boardroom sitting there, and he just like throws a dart and he goes, "Okay, how many shoes is this one going to be? Okay, 20,000 for this one. What about this one? Okay, 3." And you're just like, what?
It's people who like end up being too smart for their own good. You know what I'm saying? Like you end up creating that culture, and like you get people hype about the stuff. But now you created a culture where the only time that shoes are worth anything is if there's a collaboration, right? So you talk about the Paul Georges, and when you said that, I thought about that as well, right? And the first ones that went to my head was the PS4 joints that I was like, okay, those was clean. And then, but outside of that, like, they just was the regular Paul Georges, you know what I'm saying? But like the ones that I know are, the ones that like, you know what I'm saying? You get the off-white ones that they got to have, you know what I'm saying? The Dior's, you got to damn near collab with another brand or something just to create some hype around some basic sneakers.
And to me, it's like, even with the collabs, like, okay, I love the ideas. I love the concepts of the Dior's, the PS4s with collabing with NASA. But what they're doing is they allowing resellers to destroy the market. Dior's is not affordable to the regular customer now.
Yeah.
See, you can't buy them. Like if they would find a way to make sure that these shoes were accessible to normal people, then people would actually start caring about these shoes more. All the best shoes out now, and they complain about LeVar Ball pricing shoes at 500. You can't get a pair of them Dior's. They like 25,000. And it's just like, I mean, and the same thing, even with the PS4, PS4 Paul Georges, some of them still cost $800-900. Like they not accessible to people who actually want the shoe. Yeah. And remember in the 90s, and AB, you might remember this because I think you from the Indianapolis area too. I mean, I can remember them days going to Eastgate Mall, Washington Square Mall, and when the Ken Griffey's would drop, when I was super young, like them are some of the hottest shoes. I was able to get a pair because they weren't always all sold out or just anything. Like at least you could go get one pair. You can't do that now.
I say that I wish shoe companies would do, right? Like they used to come out with like you would have this exact same shoe, right? And you would have like the super exclusive tier of it, the kind of exclusive tier of it, and then the regular one. So like you could always get the shoe in black and white, right? Mm-hmm. You might not be able to get it in the crazy player color, right? Or you might not be able to get it in this limited edition part of his team jersey shoe, you know? But I think that's kind of more where it is because like a lot of these shoe companies, you'll see a shoe and it's like, oh man, this shoe's so cool. I wish I could get it. And yeah, I understand if it's like something crazy like this limited collab. But man, I can't even buy the black version of the shoe. Like, even if I wanted to go ball and hoop in this thing, like you can't. No matter what you try and do, you can't get it.
But see, you know what? That used to happen to me, right? As I remember, and I would say I was caught up in the hype, right? So it's like I fresh out of college, you know what I'm saying? I had probably got my first full-time job, and I was like, okay, now I got enough disposable income where if the sneaker come out, I can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
And maybe even a few pairs a month. Like, and so what I would find myself doing is, like you said, the shoe that I really wanted or like the classic colorway, I could not buy. But then I find myself, it'd be Saturday morning, it'd be some like off-brand colorway. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get them. And I would buy them. And then the shoe would be still on sale 2 days later. And I find myself being like, damn, these ain't even the ones. I don't even want them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I only wanted the ones that was hype. And if I could, I would be ready to buy them. And then if I couldn't, if they still had them on the shelf a week later, then I was like, dang, why I even bought these, you know? So I got tired of buying even that. Like, what is it? I had the Crimson 3s or something like that. And I had like I got some 8s, just like the Phoenix Suns 8s or the Knicks, or some random colors that I bought, and I thought I was on top of the world. And then I just got some general releases. So I
used to get lucky because like starting in 8th grade, I wore a size 15.5, 16. So
good. God.
I just walk up in the shop and be like, all right, what's in the back room, buddy?
Yeah, see, no,
I have never cool release Jordans that are so big no one will ever buy them, but
that's just man. It's the shoe game is to me it's not the direction for players to go to gain that extra level of notoriety. Like it used to be that for players to have that signature shoe.
And that's where they get that bag though.
Yeah. It's definitely extra money in your pocket, but like as far as like notoriety and stuff, like the shoes ain't really giving anybody no more notoriety than they can get on social media.
Facts.
Because I think like Kawhi Leonard shoes, nobody buying those.
No,
nobody getting those. Nobody getting Giannis or even Klay Thompson's shoes out of China. Nobody cares.
I think it hurts their brand as a player. Like you look at Klay Thompson's shoes, like that's a great example. I was actually going to bring him up right as you said it. His shoes look bad. Like to me, they just look bad. Like, and it's like, why do you endorse this? And it's like, it's just because of the money. It's like
facts. Yeah. I think that guys who do that, right? Like you said, they do it because of the money. And I think that what I can imagine is that the stylistic like sensibilities of these sneakers probably work more over there in the other country where they like originated from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that style, we not really messing with it, but maybe they over there they think that's hot.
As someone with a house in the Philippines and spends half their time over there, man. Yeah, it's a stretch.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. I don't know if that's to be true or not. However, one thing I was gonna say is I do agree that it's the social media aspect that like it's probably a bigger like push to get people involved in buying your products, right? And I think that in order to do that though, you gotta, and I think that a lot of players don't do it, is if you look at music and like some of the artists that become more popular and then end up getting to sell a bit more records than they probably should sell, it's all folks who like are giving you some extra on their social. You know what I mean? Like
a lot of social media managers.
Exactly. And so I feel like what a lot of these NBA players is they have guys who are they amass a following a bit on social media, but they don't actually have communities on social media. You know what I'm saying? So like you might can go there and get a cool like pregame, I'm walking in the tunnel picture. You might get some highlights, some graphic that they took from some young creative or whatever, but you're not going there to like actually engage with them. And I feel like we think that that's what you get from a lot of these guys, but like that's not actually what you're getting. You know what I mean? And so it don't translate across all of the products that they could potentially sell.
What I don't know, and you've been around the Ball family more, you know all this, seeing their Facebook show and stuff, because I know you were around some of that stuff. Like, what would it take for someone like you, right? Someone that knows the Balls and stuff, to just follow LaMelo around with couple $1,000 camera and just live stream it, and they have channels and it's like, this is what's going on before the game, this is what's going on in the tunnel, this is what's going on. And even if you don't live stream it or just cut it up afterwards and do it exclusively for their fans and stuff like that, like I look at the NBA and it's like, you look at these race car leagues and stuff like this and drifting and stuff, and they have people that follow them around 24/7. They have these girls that follow them and talk to them and everything. And I know like you got to stay in the game, but at the same time, the game's here to make money. Like you got to realize the fans want more content. And in an age where most people are 24/7 engorging in content, the NBA is missing out on a lot of money.
Here's what I say. If you like go back and you look at the trajectory of the Ball family and like when they were at their peak of popularity, right? And you look at the YouTube videos, there was a point in time where
they almost
like a LaMelo video could hit YouTube and it was instantly going to get 1 million views, right? Like he could post, and this is when they were like organically controlling their social medias and like giving you more of what you're talking about, right? Where LaMelo and then would like a regular teenager would set up the live and be playing kickball at the school. And you could take that video from LaMelo's Instagram, put it on your YouTube, and then it would get 1 million views in a day, right? So when they were organically and actively controlling their own accounts, and like you had a consistent flow of content, you had the Oprah size reacting to it, and you had all of these channels reposting it, like their stuff was huge. That's when they had their biggest growth. But then once they got to a certain level, what they began to do that is different is they had, I don't know about now, right? But I know that they had guys who like follow them. Like that's part of one of the reasons why I got hired to move around with them, is because one of my jobs was to like follow them around with a camera and catch B-roll. They had other guys who would like follow them around with the camera and catch B-roll. You know what I'm saying? So like,
I saw it wasn't doing that, but the NBA hasn't. You know what I mean?
So they do like the Hornets. They got like a little series that they do. It's called like Keep It Real or something. I don't know. It's something like that. But they do, and they put it out like every couple weeks where they'll take a collection of stuff. But what I was saying is that what they did what the like LaMelo and them were trying to do. I don't even know where it's at now because of the breakup of all of their business and stuff. But the idea was we're going to film us 24/7 outside of the reality show. And then like 10 years from now, we'll put a documentary out with all of the footage that we have that nobody has ever seen that is us working. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
through the JBA, they got footage of them being in the locker room and LeVar going off and all of that stuff that has never hit the. Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're doing.
That's kind of awesome. But
yeah. That to me though, it's a tough play because obviously now with LaMelo hooping and looking as great as he is, like it'll be valuable someday. But it's like it was a risky bet. Exactly, because you like maybe
like buying Dogecoin right now. It might go to the moon, or you might be out on your back tomorrow. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could drop it in that moment, and they would have continued that like rise of popularity, or they could hold it and sell it to you 5 years from now, and then make $10 a head off of everybody on Amazon Prime, or sell it for 20, 30 million, 40 million to Netflix or something. So
or they just hold the rights, don't sell it, and go ahead and just do like pay-per-click and stuff like that. But
yeah, like the Jordan and the Bulls last dance. So even me, right? So like I said, I have footage from like the JBA time, and in a perfect world, I would like sit down and like edit it together and then like put out like a little documentary. But you know what I'm saying? Same thing. I'm kind of sitting on it to wait and see what I like want to do with it, you know? So it might die on my hard drive, or I might mess around and make an NFT or some exclusive footage, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, who knows?
Start selling that on auction every day. One Melo clip a day.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Buy them while they cheap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you convinced me to I saw your videos about the top shots, and I went and did my pre-orders, man.
Yeah.
I was like, man, let me hop in on that, man.
I feel like, man, that you got to. I feel like it's right now. You might mess around and catch one that for the low. And the way that all of that other stuff has been blowing up, it might mess around and be worth something.
Nah, dog. You want to make some money? Go download Kitco on your phone. Look at the current trading price at gold and silver, and go buy $20 worth at your local pawn shop. Guarantee you next year you can turn around and trade it right back in for double the money.
You said gold and silver?
Yeah, you can buy like 1 ounce coins and stuff like that. 20, $30, buy that every week. Man, I'm 25, own a house, own another house in another country. Been doing that since I was 12 years old and paid for all of that.
You just buying gold and silver?
Yep. Little whatever they have at Kitco. That's exactly the name. That's a world trading market, so it will tell you whatever the global gold and silver bullion prices are.
So is there a certain time to buy, like when it goes down, or you just buy it now?
Got $20 in your pocket.
Just go buy $20 worth.
Get a hard coin and have a nice place to put it, and don't touch it.
Okay. I'm actually gonna do that this weekend. I'm not gonna. I'm actually gonna do that.
Because let me ask you one thing: what was the most precious thing to a pharaoh?
Gold.
What was the most precious thing to King Atlas? Gold.
I'm gold.
What did Jesus die on? Gold. That it ain't going nowhere.
All right, I like it. I might have to try that out.
And you say you can get it from your pawn shop?
Yeah, you just go. So most pawn shops in your local area, you go in there and they'll just have like old cast coins. Like back in the day, this will tell you how much it's worth. Like you go in, you find like I think it's a 1860 nickel and stuff. Yeah, that's gonna cost you like $25 now. Because that's silver. But that was a nickel.
So the silver is valuable, not the coin value.
It's 100% the weight of the bullion, the weight of the metal.
Okay.
And then so
I'm gonna do that.
you're saying the Kitco app will give you like
So you can
an idea of the price.
So basically, you're taking whatever the global market is, and you can use Kitco's just one of the apps I use. It's just straight name drop, easy one that I feel everyone can download on their phone and not get anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you find that and you're within like 5% of that price at the pawn shop, because they're always going to try and haggle. You can haggle your pawn shop dealer, try and get as close to that price as possible.
Got you.
Buy it for the weight and you're good to go. Throw it in a drawer, wait 10 years, and you'll be amazed what you got.
Yeah, I need to do that.
And
I'm looking for different ways to invest.
Don't buy gold and silver online. Make sure that you buy it in person at a pawn shop or at a local like trading place. Make sure that it's weighted on actual scales. Make sure they're not jipping you. But because right now, if you buy online, a lot of places, I think silver is being squeezed right now, and it's like a 6-month runtime to get your silver.
Damn.
And that's just because what a lot of businesses do is they sell projections. So, name drop, my family bought a gold mine in Oregon because of all this stuff. But straight up, like, you can just watch that gold. These companies were selling it and not selling real gold. They were selling futures of it. So they basically said, yeah, we're going to produce this much in the future, sold it, and now they're having to deliver it. And it's happened all throughout history. It just always goes up.
Nah, that's deep. That's deep. Look at that. Bam. They done got you some financial advice and then mess around in 5-6 years, you know, bought you a house or whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But
took almost 12 years. Yeah, almost 12 years of hoarding silver and gold. But literally going from a kid selling Yu-Gi-Oh cards to buying gold.
Yeah. I dig that. I feel like I've heard a lot. My guy for horror who comes on here, I'm sure you know him, Lamont, but he is into that as well. So he always talk about that buying the gold and all that. He got a bunch of gold hoarded and all of that jazz. So yeah, I've heard that too. I don't think he has broken down as simple as like, yo, just go pick up some of them coins from your shop or whatever. So that's interesting.
$20. Like most denominations will be in like 5, 20, 100, and 1,000. So like you get your stimulus, just go throw 1,000 in gold, and guess what? Like, cool part is once you get like 10 grand in gold, ain't no one stealing it. That is just too heavy, man. Like they're gonna be taking laps. Like,
yeah.
It's impressive, and you can if you look at your bank account and you see you got 100 grand, and then you look at a shelf and you see you got 100 grand in gold. One, you ain't gonna spend it much. You're gonna save a lot more, and two, it's a lot more fun to pick it up. Like,
yeah, that's the best investment. The ones that's not readily available for you to just go spend in cash. Like it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, them are the best ones.
Yep. No, Don, that makes sense. That's kind of that's kind of the approach that I have been taking. Like obviously with that like cryptocurrency stuff,
I throw a little bit.
And so exactly. So every now and again, I will because I do some like video production stuff, right? And then so what I'll do is if somebody ends up paying me like via Cash App or one of those things that are like, because now on Cash App you can buy like Bitcoin, buy stocks and all of that. So like if somebody pay me through that and it's like some money that like I just don't need at the moment, I just will just transfer it over, and instead of having it in my Cash App, I'll just buy Bitcoin with it.
Yep, I do the same thing.
I look at stocks and stuff almost like my dad, coolest guy in the world. The first time I ever went gambling, we were on a cruise ship, right? I had worked. We'd planned for this cruise and everything. I had worked. I had saved up my money. I had like $1,300 that I was willing to gamble with, right? My dad's like, all right, son, you got your money and everything. And he's like, all right, put everything in the safe. We're going to go gamble tonight. Put everything and take $100 and we're going to do your first time, right? My dad walks me up to the top floor of the cruise ship and looks at me. He's like, okay, you ready to go gamble? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, can I see your $100? Took the $100 and threw it overboard. And he's like, there's your gambling for the day. That's how it's going to go the rest of the cruise. So get used to it. That's how I learned what it's like to go gamble. Like if you're not willing to throw that $100 off the side of the ship, that's where you got to be. You pay for your stuff. You take care of your house. You take care of your life. And then you go party with what you got. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. No, I dig that.
And yeah, that's legit. I punched him in the face afterwards. He legitimately threw my $100 off the side of the ship. I was pissed.
That's funny. That's funny right there.
Yeah. Nah, that is funny. But that is honestly that's it.
I had some luck. I went to the casino about a month ago. I got lucky. I hit. I ain't gonna lie.
I'll admit that same cruise, like, because he told me, oh, you're gonna lose and everything, right? I went down the next night because that night he didn't let me gamble. I ended up just drinking and stuff. The next night we go down and I had like $250 and I walk away from the table with almost 10 grand. And he's like, you son of a bitch. But yeah,
I just got lucky.
I'm never going to the bingo hall again because I won there. Never playing bingo again. That game sucks.
Yeah, bingo seems just boring. That's why I wouldn't do bingo. It just seems boring.
Yeah, just sit there and call the number. It's a vibe if you go with the right people.
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard that too.
So where we're at, you can't drink at them. Some of them you can.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you end up with just 80-year-old cat ladies smoking tons and tons of cigarettes.
Yeah, it ain't worth it. You can't drink. You can't even bring your own. And I think that's where I went. I went once with some of my folks, and then everybody just brought their own like little personal containers, and then so we had a good time.
Their own soda.
Yeah, exactly. Food and all that jazz. Nah, man.
Game though, man.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, man. Shoot, I was gonna buy some tickets, man. This damn pod seating is ridiculous, though.
For what, the tournament?
No, I was going. The Pacers, the Hornets are playing the Pacers here tonight.
Hold on, what side of India are you on?
I'm east side.
Oh yeah, I'm from far east, in Lawrence. That's where I grew up at.
All right, yeah. No,
I'm from that Pensacola area. I got no teams near me, but all the teams close to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like just far enough to where I don't really want to go out, like buy a ticket and drive over there.
Just let me find out you on 38th and Post. Is that where you at?
Nah, definitely not over there. No. That's rough. Nah, hell nah. I wouldn't even do it. I'm from Florida originally, but I've been staying here in Indy. I was in Bloomington for a while, a couple years, and then I just moved to Indy maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. So I've been on like the near east side.
Why Indy?
Just you know how it is, man. Long story, man. I was, like I said, I was living in Bloomington, Indiana. My son's mother went to grad school there, and then she moved up here, and I was staying down there because I was working and all that jazz. But Indianapolis, compared to like most other places in Indiana, there's a lot more diversity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't even realize. I thought that every place in Indiana was like Bloomington. And then I came up to Indy and I was like, wait a minute, man, because Bloomington, Indiana is 90, I believe the city is like 95% like white. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Indianapolis is like 45% black. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a big difference. So, but I didn't even realize it until I like came up here and went to a bank and everybody who worked in the bank was black. And I was like, wait a minute, man. It ain't in the whole downtown area of Bloomington, it ain't even no black people who are employed. So I don't know. It's just a little bit more diverse here. So that's why Indy. as opposed to other places. But
I had to get up out of there. The weather, I couldn't do the Midwest weather no more.
Yeah.
I had to get to the West Coast.
I'm in a little pocket in Florida by some military bases, and it's nice, man.
Yeah, no. I'm familiar with that area. Like I said, I'm from Tallahassee.
Yeah, you're from what, not even 3 hours down the road.
Yeah. But we used to go west in the summer to go to the beach and all that stuff, Panama City, Navarre, Fort Walton Beach, all of that.
I graduated Fort Walton Beach.
Okay.
That's my stomping ground, man. It's gotten rough though, but
I believe it.
Like this, I don't know why, but this like city itself, just like all the mall and everything, it's just done. And the beach, like all it is like all the beaches got overrun with hotels, so you can't even go to the beach anymore. Yeah, had to move down the road.
Hey, I'm about to get about it. I'm about to check this game out.
I'm gonna get out there too, man. I'm gonna get on that game, man, bro. I'm sick though. I messed around and waited. As you gotta buy 2 tickets. I'm gonna see if they got somebody. Everybody's selling them in groups, so you gotta buy 2 or 4. So like, I am not sitting way up in the damn balcony. You know what I'm saying? So, but then I'm also not finna pay $500 to get 2 or 4 tickets just so I can be a little bit closer either. So we'll see. But I'm gonna check out stuff. I'm only on Ticketmaster and Game Time. But all right, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, man. Lamont, I may enjoy, man. I appreciate y'all. A great conversation, man. I feel like the people. They got a lot of information from y'all. You know what I mean? The gold stuff, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We just changed lives, man. The sneaker culture, the whole thing. And we went through the whole vibe today. So that's what's up, man. I appreciate my dog God of Blackness, though. He the only person came through tonight with the super chat. So that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's love.
Yeah, they super chats, man. You just got to make it. They only get acknowledged if you send the super chat. Don't take much.
Yeah.
You spend more at McDonald's.
You know what I'm saying?
Send the super
there
chat.
Go. Josh Blunt came through with one, man. I appreciate that, Josh.
Yeah, drop the super chat. Show love with it. Yeah, all that helped boost the channel up because YouTube be playing around with the revenue.
Man, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. Since LaMelo been out.
Oh, don't tell me.
There you go.
Hey, man, my man, enjoy, man. I appreciate that, bro. You done came through, man. You done talked, added value. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's up. That gold, get your gold, man. But let me see. I'm gonna hit back. Do you think? But just what I was saying is that since LaMelo been out, because we've been talking about Melo hard, man. The numbers done went down.
We got to diversify.
Yeah, facts.
Diversify.
Also,
there's a lot of stuff to get on. It's a little political, but I'm gonna be talking about it probably this weekend. But did y'all see there was another attack on the Capitol?
I did not see that.
Yeah,
it was a dude, and he ended up getting killed. I heard a cop got killed.
Person got
killed.
Cop got ran over, and he got shot. I heard.
Damn, I'm gonna have to look that up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I just didn't like the way they was putting the news out there about him. They dug up his personal history and they trying to make it sound like it was a Islamic terrorist attack because they said he was part of the Nation of Islam on his Facebook page. So they just bash him. So I'm gonna see what people got to say about that, man.
You got to remember, all they want is their money, man. They're gonna say whatever they can to get somebody to click, and if it has Islam, black, white, orange in it, they're gonna get that click, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for anything along that line to just rile people up so they can make their money.
Yeah, I thought it was bad taste to do that because I said he could have been a Muslim who loved Donald Trump and was still mad.
Like, he could be a McDonald's employee that was just mad he couldn't use the bathroom. You know, give it time for people to figure out what it is before you throw around accusations. You know.
Yeah. But it's been a lot. It's been quiet on it because normally when something like that happens, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
I just found a little YouTube video on it. They ain't even really talking about it.
No, I always say, man, they talk about the stuff they want you to know about.
Oh, I've been seeing the video of like the guardsmen guarding the car over and over on YouTube, and it's just like really weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look that up, man. I think, man, I do need to diversify the content a little bit, man. I just, you know how it is, man. I feel like I only talk about stuff that be really piquing my interest a bit. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta. There ain't a lot of these teams that I just enjoy watching.
Hey, you can just do like me and make up stuff. I interviewed Thanos on my channel the other day.
I see that. Oh shoot, man! Look at this. Look who just popped in, man. The man, the Ball Facts. What's up, man?
I'm late, but I hope it's still great. What's going on?
What's good?
You late, bro?
Man.
Yeah,
y'all probably on some goofy stuff by now, huh? Y'all just talking crazy now, huh?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. No, we was just talking about getting off, man. So
all right.
Nah, but you
let me do my AB the Hero thing then, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace, your boy.
What's up, man? How you doing though? You good?
Man, I'm good. I ain't talked to you in a minute, bro.
I know it's been a minute, man. I like this new setup though you got going, man.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Boy, done take it to the next level.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep up with my man AB.
Hey, you know, it ain't that hard, you feel me? I'm trying to catch up to where you at. I was just telling them, man, that since my dog LaMelo went down, the numbers have been out here. It's been a struggling out here in these streets. These views light.
We in a drought.
So we just talking about ideas to diversify content. That's where we was at, and just stuff out like that. But nah, man, my dog. I had the nice little interviews going every other night. It was some all-star who had a LaMelo clip we could talk about, and then man, it just dried up out here in these streets.
It really did, bro. I gotta ask you a question. Do you still film for people?
Yeah, for sure.
And you charge? I forget we on live. I'm gonna say how much you charge. Because I've been needing to
look at them rates, man.
You know the sponsor player, he got a tournament in Indiana, and I think it's near Indianapolis. And I might need you to shoot it for me if you can. I'm gonna give you the schedule. It's sometime next weekend. He got a few games.
Is he in Lafayette, Indiana? Where you at?
It's gonna be. He got to send me the place. I don't remember, but I know it was Indiana, and I think it's near Indianapolis. So I was like, man, I might have to get AB to hop on that. The last dude I got wasn't all that. Then today he got a tournament in Louisville, and a dude pulled out on me last second. That's supposed to be filming the game. And I'm like, bro, it's like really ticking me off. You know what I mean? But I need to find some dependable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, we could set it up, man. And if it's here in Indianapolis and I can't do it, I know some folks who like just that's all they do is record games and will get you the most excellent footage, man. You can you know what I mean, you could use type of vibe, you know. So
that'd be good. But I know you got that cinematic view. So while he warming up, you know what I'm saying? You would be like going from the shoes, going up, you know what I'm saying? I want that AB, you know what I mean? I want that AB. I'm trying to pay for that real deal. You did?
Yeah, I got you, man. No, trust me, I got you, bro. Yeah, I got you.
You're looking for the
how he coming along, man? He developing all right. I seen him a couple months ago, but I haven't seen much of him since on your channel.
Yeah, man, because all his tournaments was getting messed up due to COVID, and he had teammates get it, so they shut it down, like all kind of weird stuff, you know, and especially in Illinois, they've been extra cautious, you know, like the Bulls games, they don't have no fans there, all kind of stuff. So Illinois stuff, but he's starting to get these other tournaments, some other places. So he developing nice. I just went to the gym with him a couple of days ago because I wanted to see, you know what I'm saying, what he'd been working on without me, because I used to be with him a lot, but I've been busy. But he coming along nicely, you know what I mean? So I want to see these next games. I'm telling him I need some 30 pieces. I need some 30 pieces because he sure can't drop them. He sure can't drop them. When you see how fast this dude is, you're gonna be like, "What the hell? What the hell?" Sure can't drop him about.
Nah, that's crazy, man. That's so dope, man. That you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some cutting edge, next level, future of sports type stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the merch to the next level. You know what I mean? Got another player that I want to sponsor. So just got to get this Corona stuff over with. Like FYF said, you know, he doing the whole YouTube celebrity game, stuff like that. When all this is up, that's going to be fire. And that's part of diversifying the content. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Give some people something.
Yeah. Nah, man. You said you're going to do that celebrity game where, man?
In Indianapolis. You know, that's where I'm from. So I got to go back.
Well, I thought you said Phoenix. Indianapolis? That's around the corner.
No, because I tried to, I'm thinking Phoenix is too far West Coast. And if I want to get everybody there, basically the goal is if you within a 4-hour drive, you can drive. But if you outside of 4 hours, I'm trying to raise enough money to where we can fly y'all in, especially if you're a content creator to participate. Because on the 3rd, we're gonna be doing the boxing event, and then on the 4th, we're doing the basketball event.
Hey, who boxing?
I'm getting names right now. Obviously, we got people in our chat who got beefs with each other.
So throw me in there with DKM. Throw me in there with DKM. I want all the smoke with DKM.
Hey, you know that promo would go crazy.
DKM will call you out, bro. You come here. It's like Conor McGregor. We bringing you overseas, bro.
The promo for that would go crazy.
Yeah. That would be hilarious.
We doing the face off, everything. Everything. We talking mad stuff.
That would be bananas.
I'm working on it. I got 2 venues in mind. They both keep giving me extensions on paying the deposit. So it's just about raising enough money to get that. And then my channel sponsor, they said they would match. If we raise $5,000, they said they would match it. So
that's
gotta get there. Yeah, so man. It's just about raising it and just getting it set up, hopefully.
Shout out to FYF. AB, I called FYF like a week ago asking for advice. The dude was right on point helping me. He wasn't on no shady stuff. And I told him when I seen his setup, it inspired me to get a good setup. I seen my dog FYF. I said, "Dang, that's fire!" Video game in the back, all that. And I said, "Man, when I get my right setup, I'm gonna go live then when I get that setup." You know what I'm saying? So shout out to FYF. You know, trailblazing. People be hating on him, hating, but they ain't doing it like he doing it. People be hating, but they ain't doing it like he do it. Come on now.
I'm gonna tell you now. Be careful. Be careful.
Hey, I get caught up in so much. I be getting caught up in so much controversy. I don't even know how I be getting caught up in it.
Yeah,
it's just like,
bro. I'll tell you. Yesterday, you know how hard I was dying laughing when I was scrolling through my YouTube and I see your thumbnail for your video yesterday. So see, you saying you don't know how you get caught up in this stuff, but I was
no.
I missed it. I'm gonna get on there right now.
Instagram. I seen it on Instagram first, and then I see the video. I was
hold on. Shit. AB, you gotta understand. Look, AB.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. When I was on Ticket TV, there was a guy. He went off the rocker. He bet me $500 that the Portland Trail Blazers would beat the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. I said bet. He reneged on the bet. He disappeared when it was time to pay. What I did, everybody knows that if you renege on something like that with me, I'm gonna make something funny out of it.
Yeah.
I ended up having to record a news report like he was a missing person. So it's like, and everybody knows that's coming. So the thing was when he didn't pay me, right? When he didn't pay me, I was like, well, you know my channel. You know something funny is gonna come behind it. Now again, I'm not gonna go too crazy with it. I'm gonna make something funny out of it because it's funny that you renege on a bet like that. And again, people may say it's the wrong way to go about it or the right way to, but that's just the MO of my channel. I'm gonna turn it in this, and then what make it worse is the subscribers be making these accounts like with my stuffed animal FYF Fred, and then they run around social media trolling people even more on social media. They be making it worse, and everybody been thinking it'd be me behind it. I'd be like, man, the subscribers is trolling you. That ain't even me coming with the FY. So hey, it was just a bet, man. Like it ain't even that serious. But I just
FYF, that mug really find himself in some beef. I don't know how. I'm like, dang. I told him one day, AB, I got on there one day and I said, what is all this? I don't get it. Then I went down the rabbit hole. I said, dang, these brothers got extensive details. Like, I'm thinking that's too much for you two. Y'all shouldn't be even putting each other's stuff out like that. They be taking it just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they be doing like what his name is Pusha T did to Drake. You know what I'm saying? It was all rap until he found the baby. You know what I mean? Like, them motherfuckers go win.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Nah, I'll be trying to make it funny, man. Like when I did my video with Thanos, even when I did my Shock Jock video, and I did the news report on Ticket and how he was wanted by the FBI for putting out the fake news. It's just like, I mean, it's just funny. Like, and everybody look at it like that. I turn what people actually do into comedy, just to show people that it's not really that serious, but you have people who run around and put it out there like it really is. So it was funny to me that he reneged on the bet. That's all. What was the real funny thing was that you blocked me. That was the key. Don't block me over a Lonzo Ball bet. Man, come on, man. We bigger than that, man. Just come on. It's not that big a deal. I don't even want to talk about that, man.
No, I know. Yeah, no. It just was funny, man. I'm telling you, I was dying laughing, man, when I seen that, because I know I guess I don't even know what the story was about, like what inspired him to like start showing his, because you know his channel used to be with just him off camera.
No, it was me. AB, it was me. I remember I think we had this conversation with him, and I was like, YouTube will push your video behind other channels if you're not using actual video to showcase your channel, because this is a visual platform, not an audio platform. If you want to just do audio, go to Spotify, go to iTunes. So again, my thing was, if you're gonna be out here, I even told Aweezy Bang this. He's another guy who does sports. I was like, you got to find a way to put your face on camera, live video, if you want your channel to get pushed up in the algorithm.
Yeah.
And like, and imagine if like Ballfax, his channel is growing exponentially. Imagine once he gets his setup going full and he's doing real live videos multiple times a week, that's his growth is going to quadruple. Like I don't know what it is, but the algorithm just likes certain things. And I'm just, I just put the information out there as I get it. I got that from a bigger YouTuber, so it only makes sense to give it to you guys. So somebody who knows, that's all.
Oh, see, so that makes sense. So I guess what I was gonna say is, I didn't know why he ended up putting his face out there, but I can imagine that he did not put his face out there because he didn't want to end up in somebody's thumbnail like that. You know what I'm saying? So
hold on.
So he when you like, damn.
When you renege on a bet with me, you gotta know that that's ultimately coming, and I'm gonna make it funny. And it's not like I put any alterations to it. It's the face. Like, if you think the face is funny looking or something, that's your personal opinion. But what I'm saying is, the whole point of the video was the bro code. Yeah, I'll see the title. Yeah. And not paying, you violated the bro code right there, because I thought we was cool. Like,
how much was the bet?
So matter of fact, I don't know if Ballfax. I don't know if you heard the video. I'm in the private chat. I'm gonna put the link, and I just want you to watch. It's just 10 seconds. All you have to do is watch this 10 seconds.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
It's at the beginning of a video that I just put out. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. I just want you to watch it. I want you to tell me if I'm wrong, because I asked everybody this. I said, am I wrong for putting this out there, or am I right? Because I thought, based off what they told me, that it was a legitimate bet. Let me put this in the chat. I want you to tell me what you think. Because if I'm wrong, I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. Don't have no chill on it. Hold on. Let me put this in the chat for you. Because people be looking at me like I'm crazy for thinking it was a real bet.
You gonna put it in the private chat or the public?
I'll put it in. It's easier for me to put it in the public.
Cool.
Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, this is it right here. But it's just the beginning of the video, so you don't even got to scroll through it. Hold on, is that it?
It's the one on your page.
I'm gonna tell you the name of it. It's the video titled "Winners and Losers from the 2021 NBA Trade Deadline." And all you gotta do is watch like the first 30 seconds. Because
I found it. Here I go.
Now just watch the beginning and
I can't say 0% chance. Put your money where your mouth is, FY. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. Let's bet $200 that Lonzo Ball's traded. FYM always comes in with fireball. Yeah, but I'm riding with DJ, so I double that. Oh man. Now that's not just a 200 for me. That's 400. That's 400. Okay, so I was wrong on that. It was not 600. It was actually 400. So it was 200 from Revolution Radio, 200 from DJ. All right, I'll make sure I'll be sending both of you brothers my cash out. And if you need a reminder, I can also provide you a snippet of this video. Obviously, I mean, if you're watching it now, you'll see a snippet of it. But obviously, this is a very good reminder of the bet that we made.
Is this part of it too?
That's just it.
Yeah.
So basically, Ballfacts, this was the bet. I just made a very basic comment in the chat, and I said, due to the business of basketball, Lonzo Ball won't get traded because he's outplayed his contract and it's going to be too hard to get equitable value back. And that's when they went off the rocker and said I was crazy. Bet 200, he's getting traded. And all I said, because if you watch the stream, all I said was bet. I put bet in the chat like 100 times because I knew for a fact the man wasn't getting moved. On top of the fact that I talked to a former GM out here in Phoenix who also was giving me the same sentiments. And so I knew for a fact it wasn't happening. So when it didn't happen, March 25th come along. I'm sitting here waiting around. I try to reach out on Twitter. I try to hit Red, but Red blocked me on Twitter. I said, what's going on here? So then I reach out to the DJ. I try to reach out in his YouTube when he went live. They blocked me in the chat. I said,
wait a minute,
man. I said, what's going on? I said, why is everybody blocking me, man?
Wait a minute. I didn't understand the gravity. Bro, when this first started, I thought we was going to talk about Ticket TV. You talking about DJ and his man, Rev?
Yes.
They blocked you?
Yes.
Oh, I got to...
Hold on, but...
That changed my whole mindset.
To be fair about it, DJ said today that he blocked me because he said I disrespected him. Now, up until March 25th, I didn't disrespect him. We just talked basketball. After you didn't pay me, now you end up on a thumbnail because now you show me.
You put DJ on a thumbnail? Yo, I did not see that. It's on Instagram or YouTube?
It's on YouTube. It's on both. YouTube video, the bro code.
It's a YouTube video. Yeah, it's the one he's talking about.
I didn't notice that was. My God!
This is what I said. Yes.
Hold on. Fact.
Man, bro, y'all like FYF. We kind of.
It's not a beef.
What do I say? Y'all supposed to be like. I mean,
it's no. Hold on.
Now we got to split and we got to divide. Watch Mug start saying pick a side.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because look, it's all love. But what I'm saying is, if you know the MO of my channel, if you try to get over on me, I'm gonna turn it into something funny. Always. That's just what I do. Now, there's no beef. I'm not gonna talk about your mama. I'm not gonna talk about your daddy. I'm not gonna come at your public. I'm not gonna cuss you out. But I am gonna turn it into something funny because ultimately, over time, maybe I can get some monetization to get my $200 up out of you some way, out of the YouTube video. But other than that, I see that you ain't willing to pay. But he said I disrespected him, which is a lie. So my whole thing was don't run around lying saying you're not paying me because I disrespected your platform. I never will disrespect anybody's YouTube platform by talking down on their channel. That's one line I will never cross. If anything, I'll be behind the scenes helping you out as much as I can. Anybody who's talked to me knows that. So it is what it is. I'll get it out to YouTube revenue one of these days when the video blows. When the channel blows up. I'll be all right. It is what it is. But there's no beef.
It's hot in the streets. All I can say is
no, it's not. No, ball facts. It's no beef. It's no beef. It's no heat. It's just you reneged on it. Hold on. Y'all heard the words that was thrown at me. They made me sound like I was crazy. They called me out. Said I was crazy for saying Lonzo wasn't going to get traded. Don't run it high when he don't get traded. Come on. It's just what it is. Players fuck up too.
I get it. I get it.
It's bad. Yeah.
I get it. It's just only reason I don't like it is because not that I thought that like we were forming like a new circle. You know how you got the Cash Nasty, the Flight, all that. I thought we were forming a new circle where it would be like Ball Facts, FYF, DKM, new media, AB.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's still the same. It's still the same. That never changed, Ball Facts.
But let me tell you, the energy that DJ and Rev have, I could be mistaken, but I feel like once they have a gripe against you, like I don't know how easy it's gonna be to lay that down. I don't even know if they'll let it go. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
But how can you have a gripe against me when you threw the bet at me like I was crazy and you reneged? At the end of the day, you got to look at we reneged on this. He didn't.
No, they dead wrong for that. They dead wrong for that.
Yeah. If roles reverse and Lonzo gets traded, I guarantee you that people will be looking at me crazy if I didn't pay, especially when I made videos about other people not paying them bets. So it's like, come on, man. Like, and the fact that I thought the bet was real, I know the bet was legitimate. We doubled down on it the next day on his stream. So we talked about it multiple days in a row. So I know it was legit. On top of the fact, on March 7th, I said, look, I got some more information. Lonzo's not getting traded. Here's a plea bargain. $100, we just called the bet dead. No response. I'm really giving you all the indicators to back out this bet gracefully. And then I get nothing. I just get blocked. It's just so now the ether's coming when you don't pay. That's the MO of my channel. Like if I do something, if I wrong AB and he make a funny Naruto video about me, what am I gonna do? Be mad? It just is what it is. And we still cool. I got no beef with him. He just failed to pay a debt.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't like it, but I just don't like the outcome of it because now to me it's in question. You said ain't no bad blood, ain't no this, ain't no. That's how you feel. I don't know how they feel.
I can see him today, and it's just for me. It's the principle. It's not the money. And the principle, where I was really disrespected the most, is when I got blocked. That tells me right there that, like, you just got completely no respect for me whatsoever when you block me after you see that you lost a bet. And it's just, and then you try to hide, then you try to say you blocked me because I disrespected your platform. He said a subtotal, I disrespected his platform. Bro, come on, man. That don't even sound right. Like, come on. You got some secondhand information on somebody. I don't even, do your thing over. That'd be like if somebody came to you and said I disrespected your channel, Ball Fact. That's not even believable. Like, I'm gonna laugh that off. I'm gonna be like, I gotta hear it from the horse's mouth before I even go down that route of believing some nonsense like that, even if it did happen, which I don't think it happened. So yeah, that's just all it is, man. No riffs, no beef. Yeah. I told him today, I said it's wraps. You don't owe me nothing. I'll wipe it clean. but I do see a little bit of your character. That's about it.
Did they say why? Did he mention why he didn't like pay you, or was that just because of the disrespect?
No, that's why. That's why he said that. I said why? He said because a sub told him that I disrespected his platform. I said, when? I said, bro, I said, that ain't even me. I said, I don't run around disrespecting people's channel unless you like Ticket TV and you just got no honor about yourself or whatsoever. But that ain't even my MO to do those stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so that's when I knew it was, it wasn't disrespect. You was, and because I even messaged him privately about it today. And I kind of told him the same things. I was like, again, not paying me is one thing, but then you try to lie on my name saying I disrespected your platform publicly. That's another thing right there, because that's something I don't do. I don't care about the not paying, but don't lie on me like that. To double down on not paying, you lie on me. I can't tolerate that.
Yeah.
So you just didn't pay. That's the only thing that happened in the situation. Just didn't pay. It's okay though. It's, we all fuck up. We all did dumb stuff before. Right? I mean, if you don't have the 200, sometimes that happens. Bank account don't look right this month. I can't give it to you. It just happens. That stimulus, like somebody said in my comments, stimulus ain't stimulating. Somebody told him that.
My man jabbing. He's taking low blows. Like, if I would be like, bro, I'm not on no beat. Then he like hit you in the side.
Somebody made a fake FYF Fred account and sent that to him. He was like, you need to pay Lamont, because I saw it. They tagged me in it on Twitter. He's like, your stimulus ain't stimulating. Why can't you pay the money or something? I was dying laughing when I seen that. But I mean, it is cool. It was just surprising to me though. That's all. It was surprising because I thought we was cool to some degree. That's the only reason I accepted the bet, because I thought he was cool. I fucked with him on the betting tip. He's still cool. I just can't bet with him. That's all.
Yeah, nah. I think that's what surprised me too, man. It's like what you said. Ball Facts is the same thing I said earlier, because they were talking about this on Hoop Jargon's channel. And I was saying, like, that's the only reason that I was like, dang, I hate to see it, because I felt like we had like we growing this like little bitty community, you know what I'm saying, where we can toss the ball back and forth and kind of come together and do something bigger like that. So I was hoping that wouldn't cause like a rift, you know what I'm saying? But I could see why, like, because you hit me on the other day, you were on like was I live streaming? And you were in the comments and you asked why did you get blocked? So when I seen the thing, I figured that's where you were going with that video or whatnot. But that audio is damaging for sure. As far as
it's like he knows. We all knew. Like the bet itself wasn't a question. The only reason I even went on Hoop Jargon talking about it is because when Coach Joe hopped on, I'm assuming this is something he talked with Coach Joe about. He mentioned my name and said something about the bet. So obviously this is something that DJ talked with other people about. So maybe he's trying to explain to them why he didn't pay. And I was like, well, you can't speak on me and not expect me to come in and speak for myself. So I'm just saying, no, it was a real bet. There was no confusion. Y'all heard the audio. And if you actually go listen to the full video, it becomes even more clear that it was an actual bet, because we talked about it multiple times in the stream. So that's all I was saying. I was like, regardless of your emotions, if you felt disrespected because I ethered you on a Lonzo Ball point, you lost the bet. There's no hard feelings. You got ethered, and that's that. I mean, and again, it happens. It just happens sometimes. We lose debates on my channel. We get ethered sometimes. We get roasted sometimes, and we laugh about it and we keep it moving. I mean, just like on the basketball court, if you hoop and you play football, AB. Sometimes your best friends, you get into it. You might come to close to blows or talking crazy. When you leave the field, behind the scenes is all cool, it's all love. It just is what it is sometimes. And that's just how it is in sports debates. It's like real sports to me. Like, you get ether. We talk crazy a little bit, but it's still love and respect at the end of the day. And it's still love and respect with DJ. I don't have time to be hating people like that. This is why I joke about it and make funny videos about it, because the hate is what's going to really bring you down in all of this.
Yeah. And not everybody matches sometimes. Sometimes you connect on a associate level, maybe a friend level, whatever it is. It don't always have to be what it is. That's why when I rock with somebody that I find like it's not too many people that you just gonna click with like on many different levels. So when I do, I really rock with them. But it's okay that everybody click, and it's honestly sometimes better to learn that you guys' character don't match early on before you get into something else. You know what I'm saying? Look at LeVar. LeVar was like, yeah, I didn't know that he went to jail. You know what I'm saying? I met him at the AAU games with my sons and blah, blah, blah. He ain't tell me he went to jail. Like, hey, I'm down and went to jail. And I didn't ask him, did you go to jail? You know, but then later, look what happens, you know? So sometimes it's good to know if you don't click like that. But I do know that when people come together, you can build anything. You can get money, you can get clout. When you come together, you can like really do that.
Man. Yeah, look, I was in the process of sending everybody emails to see if we could all get our own clubhouse chat going. Just get everybody on there talking crazy, you know, because that's probably going to be the next wave that you're going to want to be a part of. Yeah. I mean, and DJ was included in that. Like, I'm not going to exclude people because of a bet.
But if you blocked, y'all can't do a clubhouse together when you blocked his channel. He's gonna have to unblock you.
No, well, he said that one of his subs blocked me, which again is that the sub who told you that I was talking crazy about you. Like it to me, it's like at the end of the day, you control your mods. Your mods are a representation of you. If they block me, that means you block me. So I don't want to hear you defer blame to a sub. Yeah. So to me, that's a cop out.
Because he could always unblock you. I mean, look what happened with me and DKM with that whole Big Ballers podcast. Where could that have been right now? But look what the beef, the friction caused. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all. And again, when you're dealing with grown men, it's gonna be heads button sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna be disagreements. It's not gonna go smoothly at all times. It's about the outcome and what it look like at the end. So I said the only way this is gonna get resolved is if I just wash my hands of it and understand that he's not gonna pay the debt, and just understand that I can't bet with this person no more. It just showed me a side of your character. I can't deal with you on a money level. Everything else,
I'm not gonna bet with you. I'm not gonna bet with you. I don't want to be on no thumbnail.
No, but you know what I did?
I'm gonna pay though. I'm gonna pay it.
Generally, like on my channel, I'll be talking with people and I'll be like bet $5. Something that I know at the end of the day ain't gonna hurt people. Because I just want to bet with one of my subscribers, SB. We bet $5 or $10 on something small, but we kept it so minimal that even if he lost the bet, he didn't have to get caught up in his feelings about it. Yeah. And I just feel like I 200 for some people, if you're working at Walmart, if you don't have a great job, 200 can be a lot of money. I'm not saying he in a bad financial situation, but obviously the $200 bothered him enough to not pay it. I mean, it is what it is.
It's like old boy who was just on here, wasn't it? Enjoy was talking about with the betting or gambling, and he's talking about how his dad said, "Yo, we finna go to the casino." They was on a cruise ship. He said, "All right, get you $100." They went up to the top of the ship, and his dad took the $100 and threw it off the edge. And he said, like, if you're going to gamble, you got to be willing to throw $100 away just like that and not have it matter. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about betting $5 with your sub, because, you know, it ain't the end of the world, you know what I mean? That makes sense.
And you got to think, if you listen to that stream with them, they're the ones that said it's just $200. That ain't nothing. They reiterated that in the stream. So when I hear that, I'm like, okay, y'all must be $200 is chump change to you. So it shouldn't be a thing if you lose, which I knew you were going to lose.
And what I think sound crazy from that audio too is I thought like it wasn't even like you initiated the bet. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like
fact.
It's not like somebody said to you, put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
And then they threw out the number, and then they doubled the number. And
no,
then,
they just Rev said put your money where your mouth is. DJ said let's bet 200, and then Rev said I put 200 up too. And exactly, I'm like 400. I said that's half my car payment. I said, okay, y'all can knock out half my car payment one of these months for me. Shit.
Boy, what you driving?
Shout out to
Suki driving a Rari.
He got that.
$800 car payment.
Yeah. Shit. That's my mortgage, man.
It's a G-Wagon.
It's just a G-Wagon. Okay. All right. Sound good.
Yeah, so but that's all. But that's all I'm saying. It wasn't a big deal, but I gotta get you. I gotta get you when you pull a move like that. I got to. That's just.
Yeah, man.
I
Shout out to
need FYF on my side if I get into a scuffle.
I know.
Oh yeah, good videos is coming. Good thumbnails, good videos.
That's what I said. Yeah,
I learned to take that energy. Like I say, I watch a video and I hear somebody saying, "There's people out here talking about the facts. I'll give you the real facts." I instead of making a diss, like I put that energy into my creativity, and then I drop a 500 view video on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so that's what I do now. Like I understood, like how you really beat these mugs is run it up. You know what I'm saying? Run it up on them.
That's it right there. And again, man, if you look at some of my videos, I turn some of these situations into comedy, and that's the best way to handle it, man. That's all. I don't take it too serious, and I hope they don't feel that way. But,
that boy Wanamaker getting the heavy minutes already.
they ain't got no point guard. They was looking. Did you see how bad that was? Literally, I'm gonna tell you. Last night, the Hornets played probably one of the worst games of basketball that I've seen in like the last 10 years.
Yeah,
that looked horrible. Coming down for a team that leads I don't know if they still are, for a team that leads the league in assists per game. I don't know how they nobody was passing the ball. I've seen so many come cross half court, chuck up the ball shots. I said, man, what is this, man? I said, look like an AAU team out here playing an NBA team.
Yeah, man, I seen that too. I think I seen somewhere they had 6 total assists. I think I heard.
It was the worst basketball I've seen in years. I was thinking they would come out and be like, oh yeah, the Nets is injured, they missing players. We about to come out here and show out, keep this win streak going. Man, they went out there and laid an egg. I said, this is why I don't believe they can win a playoff series. That's the sole reason why, because they're so up and down. So up and down.
Yeah.
They play like they might come out tonight and win by 30. But when you have games like last night, I can't trust nothing you do, man. That looked bad.
I think they get themselves in situations where they get points, but it's hard points. You know what I'm saying? You got to work extra hard. You got to have a damn near Jordan-esque play. You got to score, and they don't make easy points often.
What did Magic Johnson say?
Yeah, that's where LaMelo saved them. LaMelo gave them easy buckets. And now they don't see they should have been in this trade market looking for a backup point guard, maybe a George Hill, maybe somebody who could hold it down if for whatever reason something happened to LaMelo, and they never took the time to address their flaws. None.
They got Brad Wanamaker, man.
Yeah, but that's because they couldn't get nobody else.
Who's their best defender though? Who's their best defender at their position? Right now? Yeah.
What you mean? Like at each position for the Hornets?
Yeah, like which one on their team can can Biyombo lock down a center? Can Terry Rozier lock down point guards? Like who can lock down a position?
Yeah,
the only person this year that's shown the ability to be locked down, I can't even cap. And again, is LaMelo really, because LaMelo has been the best defender. He's been the most consistent defender. He's been their best defender, and I can't say Gordon Hayward because they really put him on the worst matchup. They try to save him.
Yeah, bro, you're not going to win a playoff series like that. You don't have no defense. The playoffs, you need stops. You're not going to need easy buckets and stops. Both of those equal wins.
Yeah.
And Rozier, he's no longer the defender that he used to be in Boston because they've given him too much of the scoring load. Yeah, there's no way he can play. He can't play that high level of defense that he was playing in Boston and Charlotte because he has to do too much work on the offensive end. So
I say based on the rotations or like Borrego in like crunch time, it's one of the Martin twins, maybe Cody here, who they feel like is a defender. You know what I mean? So they'll bring one of them in to play defense.
Yeah, that twin is locked down. Now that twin is a good defender, but on offense, he makes some of the worst decisions I've ever seen in basketball. So it's a give and take. And this is why, remember I keep saying flawed roster. And this is why I feel bad for Borrego because, damn, I need scoring, so let's put Malik Monk in. But you put Malik Monk in, my defense then fell all the way off the planet. I put the Cody Martin twin in. I put the twin in. Oh, the defense went up, but my offensive IQ just fell off the roof. Because you put Zeller in, well, he's solid, but can he catch the pass in traffic and get the easy finish at the rim? And then Biombo just looked like he nervous every time he touched the ball. So they'd be like, this is why if Borrego holds the 4th seed and they go into the playoffs with the 4th seed, he needs to be coach of the year. With this roster, and he's the 4th seed in the East, he needs to be coach of the year. Hands down. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Because that was an amazing just to have him at 4th right now is amazing, as bad as they are. He's kind of underrated as a coach because he has a terrible roster.
He's always going to have a bad reputation because he favors Devontae Graham over LaMelo Ball. So he's always going to have haters. But this is why I said players like Devontae Graham and Malik Monk can get up out of there and you get Lonzo Ball. Everybody said, I'm living in delusional land. I'm just talking about LeVar. And I'm like, no. They need defense. Mm-hmm. Lonzo, bring the defense.
Ball fact. How does that trade help the Pelicans? You think the Pelicans are going to take the Hornets garbage to give up their gold?
They just signed Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract. They'll take anything, bro.
Hold on. They only signed Isaiah because Lonzo's hurt.
But it just shows you. Look who they got.
I'm saying, why would I trade my gold for your garbage? Y'all, like, we talk about how bad Devontae Graham is.
We know he's gold. Do they know he's gold?
Well, the fact that he didn't get traded at the trade deadline tells you that everybody in the league thinks he's gold. Everybody wanted Lonzo Ball. Everybody. That he's gold right now.
Yeah, but they were like this. That's like, I think my girlfriend is ugly, but every time I walk in the room, all the dudes looking at her, so I grip her tighter. That's what they do. They don't even like Lonzo, but they looking at everybody else like, damn, y'all think he that good? Okay. They not sold on him. I'm telling you, they not sold on him.
Here's what I'll say. If you look at, they picked up Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas and Lonzo Ball game is nothing alike. So, like, if you're trying to replace, if you're telling me Lonzo hurt and I'm bringing in somebody to replace him, then I want something similar to that. If you go in the complete opposite direction, then that say to me you don't really like what you got.
I think some of these moves, especially 10 days, is experimental, looking at potentials for next season too.
Yeah. That's why I thought when a while back, Ball Facts had a video where he's talking about the Rozier Lonzo trade straight up, and I thought that the Hornets, the Pelicans, that might sound nice to them because what it seems like they want from their guard is somebody who can score. You know what I mean? So like, and you can get that from Rozier. If you need a catch and shoot guy, you can get that from him. And it don't seem like they using Lonzo to facilitate as much as some other teams might use him. So if you just want your guard to be able to get you buckets and every now and again toss the ball to Ingram and Zion is standing in the corner, then you could probably find 6 or 7 different players to do that for you.
Mm-hmm. The Isaiah Thomas signing didn't make sense to me. I didn't know what that meant. Didn't know what they were doing. So I can't even defend that. So y'all might have me on that one. So
yeah.
And I'm not even trying to have nobody. I'm not like a debate person. I'm just trying to,
No, I know. No, I know. But I'm saying I just can't. Like when I try to make sense of it, whether it's business, whether it's rotational, I can't see where this move makes sense. And so the fact what you said about, I'm gonna defer to the fact that maybe they don't believe in Lonzo because obviously they lowballed him with his extension. Yep. He denied it. Obviously they didn't trade him. That makes sense because they know now other teams see his value. The offseason is gonna be the tale of, and I want y'all to see if y'all agree with this. Well, I think the odd man on that team that doesn't fit is Brandon Ingram. I think they need to trade him as soon as possible because you are not winning the championship with him as your one or two guy.
I'll say the way they use him doesn't fit. Like if he can only be used that way, I'll say yes.
Yeah.
I think they could use Brandon Ingram completely different, but he don't fit in the way that he's playing. I will agree with you. He's a great player. We're not talking about his skill level, all that. But as far as that team, young and running, no, Brandon Ingram likes to back that ball up and do his thing and then make a bucket. I like BI, but the way that they play, it's like him or Lonzo's going to be canceled out. You even see some games where Lonzo's doing his thing and BI ain't getting that many points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that they in a tough position because Zion is probably the most versatile guy definitely out of Ingram and Zion. You could play Zion could fit in a offense that brings the best out of Lonzo Ball, and he could play well in an offense that brings the best out of Brandon Ingram. Like they could trade that off. But Brandon Ingram, from when I watch him with the Lakers and then watching him now here, if you're trying to make it his team and maximize him, like you're not going to get the best out of Lonzo Ball in that situation, you know? And I think that you also see that a maximized Brandon Ingram doesn't translate to W's either. So I wouldn't be surprised if you decide to move on from him because you done gave him, you done tried the Zion Brandon Ingram experiment and y'all look okay at times and then y'all look terrible at other times. So
but we see the connection real high.
Mm-hmm.
We see the connection. Everybody sees the connection with Zion and Lonzo. Yeah. I don't see the connection with Lonzo and Brandon Ingram. They don't have that 1-2 connection. That's just why I say addition by subtraction. Move him while he has value. Yeah. And get somebody in there that can really help you like gel and get your culture right. Because can't nobody tell you what the culture is
hey, listen to this, though. Now. You know who would have went better? If the Lakers kept Brandon Ingram and traded Kuzma with Lonzo. That would have went better.
Yeah, 100%.
It would have because Kuzma plays hard. The one thing he does, he makes mistakes, but he does play hard. So I give you that with Kuzma. I don't see Brandon Ingram out there playing hard every possession. He takes a lot of plays off, especially defensively.
Yeah.
You seen what Kuzma was running out every time in the summer league, and Lonzo was finding him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kuzma, another one of them, like you were talking about earlier, FYF, one of them dudes who, like, they found minutes for him.
Yeah.
Manufactured minutes for him, yeah. No, I agree, man. I even think that the Lakers would have benefited more because what they seemed like they wanted to have is Kuzma be that third wheel for them over there. And that ain't his game. He needs somebody who can facilitate and make it easy for him. You can get him in rhythm, and then he'll start to heat up and kind of black out and do whatever. And whereas Brandon Ingram would probably fit better in there because he's somebody who you could feed AD, let LeBron go off, and then every now and again you can say, all right, BI, here go the ball, just get you something. And Kuzma ain't that guy. He not the just throw him the ball and he gonna get you 10, 15 points a night. He ain't with that.
Kuzma would have been like LaMelo and Chino Hills, and Zion would have been like Jello. They both like to score, and Lonzo can just facilitate to them. Yeah. And they both run. It would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But Kuz is described. I was looking at a trade assessment of him that Phoenix had, because I know a couple years ago Phoenix was looking at him, and they described him as at his natural position, he's a 6th or 7th man. And when he's on an optimal team, his best he's not a starter. They don't look at him like a true starter in their league.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how other teams feel. That's where they gauge his value right now. So that just tells you. And he plays like it too. That's how he plays. He's inconsistent. Sometimes his offense is here. Sometimes it's not. That's role players. That's what role players do. Devontae Graham, he's really a 6th or 7th man on a good team. He's not a starter in this league.
Oh yeah, we knew that.
I know y'all was on his top. I was trying to save him a little bit. I could.
No, DJ and Rev was on his top. They gave this man a whole name, Tay Baby, something like that. Tay Baby. I said, y'all need to get off that man.
Yeah.
Everywhere I turned, I'm talking. He was getting ether.
He getting ether. Yeah, he get a raw deal, man. Because I feel like most folks are new to the Hornets and they don't realize how good he was playing last season. So you get introduced to him at the beginning of this season, and he's playing terrible. So you just can't understand why they was giving him shot after shot, not realizing like, yo, he was probably one of the most improved players last season. And so I was saying this, man. I think that the Hornets did him an disservice by even starting him at the beginning of the season with LaMelo right behind it, because you put a lot of pressure on his heels of like at any moment we gonna take the starting job. You know what I mean? Because at that point he competing versus Terry Rozier and he competing versus LaMelo. So you got to beat both of them out and keep your spot in. And I don't think he was ready for that, man.
Hey,
not in the contract year.
That's the league. Your spot is always up for grabs if you don't show up. So, I mean, if he couldn't handle that fire, then he don't belong in the league. But he couldn't handle that.
Yeah, and you see once he was coming off the bench, he looked like a whole new player playing behind LaMelo. You know what I mean? At times, and then now with LaMelo hurt, he had some games where he looked like what he was doing last year.
Hey, but you see people's true colors during their contract year. This is his contract year. You see his true colors. This is the best. The best is the best of what you're gonna get from Devontae Graham. Players don't play no harder than what you see in their contract year, and it just look down history. Players have their best seasons when they about to get paid. This is who he is.
Yeah.
Feel bad for DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, he should have took that $100 million. He should have took that $100 million.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I look at that. I look back on that. And I feel so bad for him, man. So if you would have took that $100 million, you'd have been, jeez. You can't play around it. Go ahead. I couldn't hear.
I was gonna say, y'all tell me, y'all know what y'all see my channel? Was I too high on LiAngelo?
Can I be honest?
Go ahead. I'm just bringing up a debate because I already know if I have to go off.
Hold on. This is the grind. See, I love LiAngelo as a player because when I look at his game, it reminds me of me, a shooter, a 3-and-D type of shooter. That's my role everywhere I've been. Because he didn't go the traditional route through college or even go overseas. He don't have the resume for the NBA yet. He can't just say, he just can't go off of word of mouth and be like, LeVar said I'm NBA ready, so y'all got it. He has to go build a resume. He needs to be grinding overseas somewhere, getting a hell of footage. I mean, go somewhere where there's a reputable league, where there are other former NBA players, there are scouts who can vouch for you, and you got to build your resume because he messed his opportunity up at UCLA. If he'd have went 4 years at UCLA, he'd have been an easy late first round pick. Been in the league 10 to 12 years, easy, no problem. And that's for the style of play that he has. He's like a Joe Harris type, a Davis Bertans type, one of those guys. Those guys have been getting heavily paid right now. They're valuable. You got to go pay his dues, though.
Yeah.
You got to go get that film. That film is everything. If you don't have film, I've seen some of the best players in the hood. They ain't got no film. You ain't getting no scholarships nowhere. Ain't no coaches giving you. You got to have that film under you. That's it. I don't doubt that he's good enough, though.
I don't have nothing to say against that. Like that's facts.
Yeah, I think where he in a tough position because he might have too much going on to like even feel like I want to go over there by myself and do that grind like anybody else. I think like the last time they went overseas, you know, I mean, the whole support system came with him, right? When LaMelo just went overseas, he had JJ and kind of had a mentor. From what it seems like is LiAngelo doesn't have that like mentor, and like LeVar is not quite in a position to like uproot again to just go overseas and make that work. You know what I mean? So if he go overseas, he going over there just like any other body who going over there damn near probably by yourself. And I don't know if
I gotta push back though.
I don't know if he like want to do that.
Here's the difference. The typical guy that goes overseas now, they're going over there for their bread and meat.
Yeah.
Jello goes over there, he's rich. He just needs to go put in work. These other guys is worrying about, they going paycheck to paycheck. And you got to think the market over there has got so diluted because you got high-level D1 players going overseas, accepting pennies on the dollar, that they've diluted the overseas market down to where if you just the average D1 player, you making what, $200-300 a week sometimes just to play overseas.
Mm-hmm.
My homie was averaging, he was in Spain averaging 40 a game. They was just paying his tuition for grad school. He wasn't even getting money. I had him on my channels, Sheik Civ. You know what I'm saying? It's diluted because players is taking anything just to go hoop professionally. They taking anything. And so Jello has the luxury of going over there knowing that all my bills is paid and I'm rich already. I just got to go work and build his resume. And so that's why I can't give him that cop out, because it's not going to be convenient. Remember, Brandon Jennings went over there. Sometimes he wouldn't even get his check. And just the grind. That's why I say it's a grind. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm saying is like, not as necessarily a cop out, but just like if you over there living, he over here living like a little bit of rock star lifestyle, you know what I mean? Pull up and you can do whatever you want. And it's not like, it wouldn't be his first time overseas, right? I think that's what it is. He has experienced what it's like to go live in Lithuania, and then has also experienced what it's like to live in Los Angeles. And it's like, for pennies on the dollar and the possible opportunity is just not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was hoping he would take and it's not the best team, but like at least go play in London. You know what I mean? Where you could still like have some sort of Americanized lifestyle a bit, and it's not a huge difference. But I think like, I don't know, man. I just look at like right now, Lonzo he's got Demo with him, right? He got his manager, personal assistant, whatever Demo is to him. LaMelo is in Charlotte with JJ. And then who going anywhere with Jello right now? You know what I mean?
Hey, the grind of getting to the league is you got to deal with situations that you're not comfortable with. Your hotel rooms is gonna be garbage. You're gonna have to get on crazy looking buses, driving on shady looking roads where you can look over the side and see a cliff going 100 feet down. And that's the grind of being overseas. I mean, it sucks, but this is the path you got to take. And you got to think, when he looks back on it, why do I have to take that path? It all falls back on that decision that he made in China that got him in that crazy situation with UCLA. And so he has to know that this is just all repercussions stemming from that. It's sad to say that, and it's sad that he has to pay the price for that even to this day. But that's the bed that he made for himself. He changed his own path. He changed his own path to the league when he made that decision.
And you know what? Another thing, I think he got some decent representation. So I can imagine that he probably is being told the only reason why you're not in the league right now is because of COVID. You know what I mean? We had you on the G-League squad. They adjusted the G-League thing. All you got to do really is wait till summer league, and if it opened up back normal, you're gonna get a spot. So you can go overseas and play, but like you stand more to lose if you don't dominate than the guaranteed spot that they probably feel like they got for him going into next season.
But look at it like this: if he stays at UCLA this year, what is he, a senior or something this year? UCLA is in the Final Four. You know how much people would be talking about him? You have two Ball brothers in the league, and you got one in the Final Four. They would have been blowing him up. They would have been blowing him up. Just stick it out. Just like go through the tough time. But he made that mistake. College has its value. And UCLA, I knew they weren't going to be trash forever.
But look, if LiAngelo never stole from China, he would not be in UCLA right now. Minimum 2 years. 2 years, because let's say they sunned him and say you're just a freshman. He would have played his sophomore year. Jello, given minutes, is going to knock down shots. He's a man amongst boys when it would have came to that college game in the shooting. I just believe that. Built different, stronger, played with LaMelo and Lonzo. It's a different level, a different speed, a different athleticism. If not freshman year, sophomore year, he's gone at least second round. That's what I believe. But like AB said, of course, I do agree with you. It's going to come down to how bad LiAngelo wants it. If he wants to go overseas, if he really want it like that. But at the same time, these other guys are not signed to Rock Nation. So that's why we must believe that something is in the works. I mean, Rock Nation is handling LaMelo. He's a cash cow. So why would you do his older brother bogus? You know, it's got to be some meetings, and there's got to be something cooking in the works. And we're all hoping and praying that. But if not, that would just be ridiculous. I think he should go to the NBL. Like LaMelo sold the most jerseys over there, more than Curry, more than LeBron. They're hungry for the Ball family. LiAngelo went to the NBL. I think it would be a movie. Plus, I would love making videos on it, covering the games. But I actually agree with both of y'all.
Because from my understanding, like the NBL season actually started before the NBA season did. So like one of the kids who got drafted by the Golden State Warriors right now is playing in the NBL. So he opted to go to the Next Stars program and then still was in the NBA draft. So he's playing the first season over there, and the next season he'll just go play for the Warriors. So I feel like there's like little small things like that he probably would have done, but because the way the season was so pushed back, like, you know what I mean? Like most of those other places was already started. And then so I'm sure like there's probably some guys who didn't make the G-League or whatever. But I mean, the G-League draft didn't happen till January, right? So like that's already, most of them teams started in the fall. Most of the season started in the fall. So he already halfway through a season. So I think that limited some of his options as well. But I don't know, man. I think he got it. He gonna be all right. I would be surprised if Jello has a basketball career and we never see him suit up actually in a G League uniform or NBA uniform, a summer league or something. If he somehow managed to not suit up ever in an NBA related league, then I'd give you that $200 for DJ.
Hold on. Let me lock that in.
Right now.
Let me lock that in.
Be ready.
Let me lock that in with AB.
I'm joking. That's a joke bet. That's not a real one. That's for the audio. Just in case you try to play the audio on me. That's not a real one.
Hey, AB, look at this new merch your boy Fahara hooked me up with.
Okay, with the watches? Oh, yeah.
With the watches. Yeah. He got your boy right.
That's
he hit me with
nice.
an example. Yeah.
I gotta hit him up.
Yeah.
That's nice right there.
I gotta hit him up, man. I feel like I just got YouTube just gave me the capability to have one of them like merch drawers on your channel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like the items that you can like actually have made through wherever that YouTube store.
Yeah, it's called Teespring. It's trash.
The quality is trash. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I bought some samples off of it, and the samples that don't look nothing like the pictures that they have up. The quality is really, really bad.
That's what I was worried about. I didn't use Teespring. I used the The other one now is 2 options. It's Teespring and Spread Shop. And I did Teespring. If you go through there now, they give you 2 options. But the Teespring, you couldn't even have a hat. They had like no hats or nothing. So
they got hats on Teespring. They got hats on there.
They didn't. As of like 2 days ago, they had got rid of the hats.
You sure?
So yeah. So the other one, the Spread Shop one, you can get hats, but it's not even like
backpacks. I thought they had backpacks and everything.
They got a bunch of weird stuff, but they don't even have like just basic hats.
Yeah, they got coffee mugs and stuff. That's why I had to get my own little website to sell merch because they trash. But I still got some stuff up there.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I just seen that.
Did you ever did you get that figured out with the sponsorship stuff and how to put it in your vid?
No, I shot him an email and I never heard back. And I was thinking about going back on there, but the site looked confusing as ever to me. It didn't look simple.
Which site?
I don't even remember the name.
Oh, I've been messing with some of that too. As what is that? Remember that one day you had the live stream, Lamont? And you had that one site you was looking at.
With the rate ranking your channel.
Yeah. They got a little. They got a thing on there where they got like sponsors and some other stuff where you could send people notes, whatever. But
I've worked with like 10 of those sponsors
from that website.
Yeah. So what happens is a lot of the people on there, they don't like to do the sponsorship through the website because they'll take too much of the money. So what they'll do is they'll just send you an email, and because a lot of those sponsors are outside of the US, sometimes those emails can go to your spam folder. So I've been finding a lot of them in my spam folder, but they be coming up with some good offers. But I have a set price for my channel that I'm not gonna budge on. So I'll be standing firm on what I asked for to promote your product. And I had to do the same thing with Manscaped. I just had to put my foot down. I was like, I mean, these videos stay up forever. You ain't gonna pay me pennies on the dollar for videos that stay up forever.
Yeah.
Big young puppy clones.
Hey, they'll work with you if you talk to them.
Yeah. I had to mess with that, man. Alternative revenues for the YouTube.
All right, y'all. I'm about to get up out of here.
I'm about to check these games out. I'm about to work out. Yeah, AB with the Naruto. AB, you still ain't topping my stuff. You know, you seen me dress up in my judge outfit with the judge background.
Bro, that was crazy. that literally, I had to wait like 20 seconds to realize that wasn't real. I was like, is he in the courtroom? The lighting was perfect. This man had the wig on. I got confused. But did y'all see when I did the infomercial?
I seen that. Yeah, that was
the infomercial.
Yeah,
the infomercial for what?
For the
you got to send me the link. No, just send me the link. Link. I need to see this.
All right, cool. Yeah, I did it when Lonzo came out of the bubble and everybody was hating on Lonzo. I stood up for him. I said, he ain't done yet. Do not count him out. Watch he do better this year.
Yeah.
Oh boy, you was
itching like
you was alone on that one. You was definitely going the opposite direction on that one.
Nobody was rocking with me. The video didn't get that many views.
I was mad at him though, because I had been rocking with him for so long, and he just completely embarrassed me in the bubble, man. I made a video. I was like, man, I had to kind of ether him low key. I was upset.
Yeah.
He was, because Lonzo did that interview talking about
that video.
Yeah, send that to me. I'm about to watch this game. I'm about to work out. I'm gonna catch it with y'all later.
Thanks, AB.
All right, cool. Yeah. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. I'm gonna head out of here too. Yep.
All right, AB.
Yep. Appreciate you, man.
Yep.
All right, y'all, man. We've been on here for 3.5 hours, man. So I'm gonna slide out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. If y'all ain't, you're still in here watching, man, hit that like button on your way out and all of that jazz. And we might try to get back on here. Either shoot, it's almost halftime, man. I might just hang it up and get right back on, but shit, it's 13 seconds, so we'll see. Shoot, man, let me see, man. I might slide through. Let me do this. I ain't wanna get hard. She ain't not up on it, she a track star. Halftime. Shout out about that. What's up, man? It's halftime for the game. We still going. We've been on live since the pregame show, and we done transitioned into the game show, and then also now into the halftime show. Miles Bridges doing his thing. No, that's a fact. I feel like, what it is these teams like the Pacers or whatnot are teams that these Hornets end up looking decent against, right? Some of them teams in that, like, who are fighting for the being playoff contention, we see them like actually play great basketball. It's just them teams that are in like the top 3, top 4, the top 3 of the East, top 4 of the West that we see them have struggles with a little bit. But solid game so far, man, from these Hornets. Let me see. Let me pull out the box scores and things. Shut it, what up? Ain't gonna get hard. I've been about to sneeze for an hour. Next year, the Hornets will have the best trade deadline. Believe me. Shoot, I don't even know if it's a trade deadline. I'm excited to see what they got going in the offseason. I'm excited to see what they got going in the offseason. Let's look at this here. At the half, we got Terry Rozier playing the most minutes with 3 points. Struggle bus. Gordon Hayward finally got it going. I think he started like pretty bad in that first quarter, or pretty pedestrian, I'll say. We got Melo, so Warriors is down bad, man. That's what I heard. Warriors down bad. Let me see. Let me pull them up. Golly. This is ridiculous. Good God. 119. Oh my, it is 7 minutes left in the game. Good God. That's terrible, man. But shoot, man. All right, this halftime, man. We've been on here for a long time, man. We ain't gonna make this a super long stream, but shoot, man, we finna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all coming through, rocking with me for this whole time we've been on here, and it's all love, man. It's your man, Ebony Hero. We out. Peace.